Disclaimer, we'd like to note before the start of this interview that the opinions about to be expressed by the guest on tonight's Gettin Salty Experience podcast are that of the guest and do not directly or necessarily reflect the views of the host of the Gettin Salty Experience podcast.
You're listening to the Gettin Salty Experience podcast.
Hello, Joel Kanaski, QC
is he in the house?
Eastwood, Darren DeFries, Rob Procaccini, Johnny Albanese, Michael Rabcavage,
fucking thing,
and all you other great loyal fans in the chat tonight. Merry Christmas. Oh, you got one on too.
It's not the best. I put it over my earphones.
Naughty, bro.
You know,
I'm naughty.
Trying to be festive with lighting.
Oh, you're
Is
something.
that what it is?
Man, I don't know. Whatever. I think it's fucking
Ho, ho, ho!
jolly.
Guns, old ladies.
There we go.
Oh, no, I didn't say that.
God, it's not, I don't know.
What?
I'm not feeling it. Coobs,
Okay.
I can feel. Yeah, get rid of
I
it.
want to see
We
your
need the
hair.
hair. The hair's better.
If you have no hair, it's better. Comes up to no hair. Well, welcome back. Dude, we got another 17 truck, hard charging Bronx guy tonight.
Yeah.
You know those guys? You were going to be, when were you going to be a 33 truck guy?
I was trying.
Trying.
I
Right.
don't like me up there.
Yep. Happens to be
Guys,
my
what's
neighbor.
it?
He lives about 6 doors down, the chief.
You must be my new neighbor.
You must be my new neighbor.
Guns,
We
what's
gonna
the temperature down there?
Oh shit. Let me look because it's like 60 right now. Let me take a quick peek while we're at 69.
Like
right
60
now.
below by Lou right now.
It was cold 2 nights ago. It was for us 50s. 68.
What is it by you?
Oh,
Coob?
13 this morning.
Excuse me.
Yeah,
Not 0. What were you? 0? 2?
-4.
How many inches of snow
Minus
did you get up
4.
there?
We got 4 inches of snow.
Did Long Island got more snow than you?
I think Long Island got. I was out shooting ducks, and we got about 3 inches out, 2 or 3. But then I think they got more after I left.
You got a dude from Georgia coming in here, shit kicking. Stone. Dade
Stone.
County, Georgia. First
Stone.
time watching. Well, welcome, Stone.
Welcome, Stonehenge.
Because
Hedge.
Stone Cold said
What was
so.
that? What was that movie? Stone. That's all we need is one thief and guinea in the bunch. Where's that from? Come on.
Oh, wait, don't tell me.
Come on now.
I know it.
No.
When you're going
To
to say it, I'm going to be like, oh, that was it.
To
That was it.
protect and serve the. Don't give me the book answer. It's
Ah,
better than you,
the
you
Untouchables.
stinking,
The Untouchables.
stinking Irish pig.
No, I was thinking of
Yeah,
the
all we
David
need
Rabbit
is one
movie.
Stephen Guinea.
Stephen Guinea. That's better than you stinking Irish pig.
I like him. I like
I was-
him.
I like him. Oh, he's good. He's good.
Yeah, yeah.
Who's that? Sean Connery, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I like him. I
He's
like
dead. Not available for overtime.
No.
Not available. Anyway, we got to get to a hard charger and wish everybody a Merry Christmas at the end of the show. You know what I'm saying, Ruffy?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Let's get to our commercial so we can get the chief on here.
All right.
He's a Queens guy, too, just like us.
Queens. All right. We go to Queens. All right. Hold on. Here we go. Sorry, not New Jersey. We're going to do Armor Tough first.
All right.
Here we go.
Need a new floor for your fire station? Choose an Armor Tough interlocking flooring system to cover your aging, stained, cracked concrete or epoxy floor. Armor Tough has been around for nearly 20 years and has proven to be the best choice in renovating your station's floors, covering nearly 600 floors across the country. Proudly made in America, Armor Tough comes with a lifetime warranty and are usually installed in 1 or 2 days, depending on the size of your station, with virtually no disruption in your station's operation. Our system is guaranteed from chipping, cracking, peeling, breaking, or staining. The tiles are stain resistant and impervious to chemicals or volatiles that are used in the fire service. Damage one tile, lift and replace without anyone knowing. And once installed, your floor would be easy to clean with just soap and water. Is your current floor slippery? Eliminate the slip with Armor Tough.
Uh-huh.
What got your nostrils going there? Okay. You ready for the second one?
Where's the other stuff, Gonzo? Why can't I see the on the side? The
You got to click. They separated now. There's media asset. You got to
what the hell
click.
is media assets.
They added some new banner on the side here.
Nonsense.
Gonna make
Touch
things
nothing, all right? Just don't touch nothing. Please.
Last time I did,
We don't
Haven't we
need to-
learned? Haven't we done this enough?
We don't need to. Yeah, we don't need any more of that shit.
You know what
All
I'm
right.
looking for? We got to play.
Oh no!
Not the
No.
siren guy.
Oh, yeah. One more time. All right,
Can I-
play the commercial.
Okay, here we go.
Established in 1930 and under the current ownership since 1987, the New Jersey Fire Equipment Company handles a complete line of fire department equipment and supplies. Headquartered in Greenbrook, the company operates full 3M Scott service facilities in Ridgefield Park and Toms River, staffed by 10 fully authorized Scott certified technicians with a fleet of 6 fully equipped service vans. All New Jersey fire technicians and sales representatives are active or retired firefighters, officers or chief officers, career and volunteer. They understand the business and the importance of their work. New Jersey Fire has represented Scott since Earl Scott entered the SCBA business at the end of World War II. Among other leading manufacturers represented by New Jersey Fire are Globe and Firedex Turnout Gear, Mercedes Hose, Task Force Tips and Akron Brass, Hygenol, Firehooks, Arctic Compressors, MSA Carnes Helmets, ChemGuard Foam, Alkalite and Duo Safety Ladders, BA Face Shield Protectors, Truckman's Choice Saws, Grove's Gear Racks and Washer Dryers, Supervac Fans, RPI, Streamlight, and many others. A New Jersey incorporated and based company, sales and service are limited to the state of New Jersey. Find us now at www.njfe.com. That's www.njfe.com.
Excellent. My favorite Jew is in the chat tonight. Mikey Milner. Mazel tov, Mikey.
Murray.
Happy Hanukkah, Michael.
Happy Hanukkah.
And Joel's down there. Where is he? He's like in an island somewhere, right? Where is that guy?
Yeah, remember he said he was. Yeah, it was
Somewhere.
It wasn't the Bahamas. No,
They don't even have sirens there. Show them what they got to play.
No,
Begins with a B. Doesn't it begin with a B?
Floods. Floods. Do it.
Barbados or something like that? Wait a
I gotta
minute.
find it. Give me a second.
Come on. You shouldn't be doing that.
So the guy to your right there was like, so I don't know.
Oh,
Okay. Let me see if I can find it. Anyway,
He's
You
on
wanna
my
look at that
left.
guy's teeth again?
Come on, it's funny as hell, Cons. Throw it up there.
Got some chiclets
I'm
hanging
not
on it.
drinking tonight. I need to laugh a little bit.
where the hell is it? You sent it to me, didn't you? God damn
That
it.
should be in the query over there.
Yeah, well, it should be. We'll get Mike to hook it up for us because I don't.
Thank God. Good one.
Yeah.
All right,
All
let's
right.
bring him in.
Well, let's bring him in, and then I'll find it. I'll have it at the right time.
All right. Go ahead, rookie. Do your thing.
You ready, Gons?
Yes, sir. I'm ready.
All right, coming to the stage, Battalion Chief John Rice.
Also known as my neighbor. 6 doors down.
You
Thank
must be my new neighbor.
Yep. I see him in the gym. Well, I used to see him. I changed gyms. When are you coming to the new gym, Chief?
My son sees you at the gym. He wants to know, are you lugging around a dead body in that bag, or what you put in that?
Everybody asks me that. Dead hookies.
I've never seen.
I just
Everyone
came
has a
from
gym
Gilmore
bag.
Beach.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the talk of the town. You really got.
Really, you know what's in it? Like every old man rap that you can possibly think of that I have to put
Definitely
on.
got to
every
be
time I
chalk
work
in
out.
there. Is there chalk in there? There's
Oh,
gotta
there's
be
chalk.
Oh, there's chalk in there.
Elbow wraps, knee wraps, wrist wraps.
Ben Gay.
Knee braces.
And there's actually Ben Gay in there. I get the roll
Tubs of
on
Ben Gay.
Gay Ben.
Gay Ben.
Yeah, my son goes, "You actually know that guy?" I'm like, "Yeah."
He's an idiot.
I mean, the guy that could walk over the hydrant without hopping over.
That is right.
Not much longer. Getting a new
Not much
knee.
longer.
Coming in January. New knee coming.
Nice.
See
Thank
you in
God.
the new- let's get patriots before we delve into the Chiefs' early
All
life.
right, here we go.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amen, brother. Best country in the history of the world. All right, Chief, let's go into it. Let's get back. I know you're a Queens guy. Where did it all take place? Where did it all start? Tell me about the early family life, mom and dad, any brothers or sisters?
Perfect. Yes, I am a proud member of Sunnyside, Queens. Grew up on 43rd and Skillman Avenue, right down the block from 325, 163.
Mm-hmm.
My mother still lives in that apartment She moved there when I was 1 year old, so she's been there
Still
62
there.
years.
How old is mom?
She's 87.
Wow, that's
Wow,
my
God bless.
mom. My mom's 86. Wow.
She loves the neighborhood and she refuses to leave, and she loves it. So it gives me a reason to get back to the neighborhood, which is good. I still enjoy going back there, even though it's definitely changed. But growing up over there, I cannot say I couldn't ask for a better place. It was tight. The older guys looked out for the younger guys. You know, there really was not a lot of problems. Everybody knew everybody. Just made a lot of good time, a lot of good friends, and a lot of good times, because back then it really was like the Wild West. If you guys know Queens,
It really was the Wild West.
Queens Boulevard had 3 bars on every block, both sides. And you saw these guys in, and you know, growing up, you aspire to find out what's going on in there. And it's a little anticlimactic when you're finally old enough to get in there, but it was
true.
It was the epitome of dysfunction, and it set me up for my career in the fire department. I mean, if you make it through those neighborhoods, there's nothing you haven't seen before, haven't done before. So.
Well, even on Roosevelt there, right up the block there, it was Donovan's, and all those bars were right by you, right there too, right?
Still, everything walking distance. You know, when you're in high school, and then you know, you could take the train into the city, out to City Field or Shea Stadium. So I mean, you know, you go in there in grammar school, you're taking the train out to Shea, and I mean, you know, there was no rules. You know, you just did what you wanted, and that was the norm. It was. It's hard to explain, but I wouldn't have asked to grow up any other place. It really was a great spot. I still see a lot of the people, the girls I went to grammar school with, the guys I hung out with, very tight community. And even on this job, you know, when I finally took the test to come on, we put a lot of guys on the list. So it was good to see me coming on with a lot of the guys.
What did mom and dad do?
My father was a steam fitter, and my mother stayed home, but they got divorced when I was around 10. So we had a 1-bedroom apartment. So we had the 5 of us in the 1 bedroom. They put a little divider up. Then he kind of left. So
wow.
My mother went out to the bed in the living room, and then the 3 boys. I have 2 other brothers. I was the oldest. My middle brother Jerry got on the job. He was in 128. And then my younger brother Jimmy, he's out in California, and he's just come down with some medical stuff that's kind of a little tough on the family and him. So we're just saying our prayers, and hopefully, you know, he pulls through with. We'll
all say prayers for him, brother.
Great, thanks. Yeah, but
No,
like I said,
your brother got on before you. You got on first.
I got on first. He got on. I think I had about 10 years on, and he got assigned to 128. Now, growing up on 43rd Street, there was 5 or 6 guys from the neighborhood that were already in that house. I don't know how everybody ended up there, but it's. You know,
it was a neighborhood house.
It really was, and you know, he liked it there.
Is that how you got to looking into the job? Was from the guys in the neighborhood, or how did that happen?
Well, that, you know, it's interesting. A lot of the guys, our older guys, none of them were really on the fire department. I had no real relatives. I really knew nothing about the job. I used to see 163 whipping down Skillman Avenue, and then every couple of years, a bunch of taxpayers would burn on Queens Boulevard. Take down a block. It still does, you know, to this day. You see them.
It absolutely does.
It's almost an annual event. And now with putting up these 7-story buildings, it's happening more frequent. But every couple of years, it would take a whole row. And that was really the only thing I knew about the fire department. I knew nothing. And I really can honestly say I had no ambition to get on the fire department. But I'll get into what kind of how the whole story played out. But growing up, was definitely not the fire department. I was, you know, we had typical paper routes. Everyone had paper routes, and God, funny going into all these buildings, these H types. You know, I knew all these buildings like the back of my hand. I knew, you know, when I started reading and studying about isolated stairs, scissor stairs, wing stairs, I knew every one of these buildings because playing manhunt and running up through these buildings growing up.
Manhunt. You know he's a Queens guy, bro. Manhunt.
Over roofs.
Johnny on the pony.
Yeah, I mean, hot peas and butter.
Going across the race. We didn't race across the roofs though, Roof. We would go in the backyards and
pool hopping.
Crossing over roofs. I mean, those buildings we played in. So I knew every one of these layouts, the apartments, how they ran. It was pretty. Never would I think that would really factor in later on in my career. But it really was a big help. How to get into the basements, and I mean, I don't care what borough you went into. All those buildings are laid out the same, and really was helpful from a paper route to getting on a fire department. But
were you doing a paper route like this?
You got to save that picture. That's,
okay.
I'm gonna reboot that.
I don't pull that out in the pre-show. I was like,
Yeah,
I wasn't expecting that one, bro.
Yeah, I got all my clean material. You know, I just went 16 and 17, had the Christmas party last week. And I mean, we were howling, telling stories, but I was like, oh, I got 2 hours of material. And then I was like, well, can't repeat that. So it's, I lost a lot of material, but we'll come up with some filler.
Right. We can always throw out allegedly, you know.
No, I know.
It happened. I heard it happened. Somebody told me it happened. I don't know.
Yeah,
that's one thing. I cannot throw the job under the bus. It's been too good for me. And some of these memories, I think they should stay memories. You know, I never understood. Guys used to bring their friends into the firehouse and let them see the act. It's like, this is not public consumption. You know, like you wonder how things get out to people. It's like, why would you bring your friends to the firehouse? I mean, I don't know. I didn't even tell my own brother. I was like, let him figure it out when he gets on. I mean, it's not that difficult, but I'm not going to be, you know, telling him, let everybody figure it out. But I would never bring friends in and, you know,
I learned that the hard way after my first night tour. I came home, we were at a family party, and they're like, how's your first night tour? And I'm like, great. We didn't have a single run. I slept the whole night. My brothers took me in the next room. God, they'll do the slap sound.
Wait.
I was like,
yeah, I can see that.
Come on, you're off your game, bro.
Yeah.
I totally
Must be the sinus medication he's taking.
Must be the And they're like, you never repeat that anyway.
Definitely.
Every night was the busiest night. You ran all night long.
That's so funny.
Et cetera.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
They learn you pretty.
Give me a heads up. I don't know.
That's how he was. We're sorry.
Yeah.
Well, that one.
So growing up, my downstairs neighbor managed this gas station, 43rd and Queens Boulevard, big mobile station. You guys probably know it was still there, but he's like, you want a job? And I was like, yeah. I mean, you know, we didn't have money. I don't want to go until we didn't have food on the table. We pretty much didn't have food on the table. So, you know, I was working weekends, and it was really unbelievable job. We made great money, but that gas station, I'm telling you, I could do a show on that. You know, stolen tools, drugs. I mean, you have guys come driving up in their car. Yo, man, you need this? No, they just go down to the next gas station. You know, I mean, stolen radios, stolen tractor trailers with TV sets. I mean, that place, what went on in that place pretty much was pretty eye-opening for a 16-year-old kid. But like I said, you've seen it all, and you worked your ass off because you were outside. But so I worked the summer of my junior year going into senior year full-time. And then the guy says, oh, you know, there's a full-time job, 4 to 12. You want to do it? I'm going to LaSalle Academy High School in Manhattan.
Manhattan?
Wow. Yeah. You know, everyone, it wasn't uncommon. You take the train to the city, and, no, it wasn't too bad. It'd take you 40, 45 minutes. But, you know, getting onto the 7 train in the morning was another trip. The train was so packed when it would come to Lowry Station that you couldn't get on. So you'd have to jump in between cars, you know, open the gate. And that's how you started your day, riding the train in between cars to get to Queens Plaza, where half the train would empty out. Then you could come in like a humanoid, but you were not getting on that train any other way. You know, people. It looked like Japan. People jamming.
When the pushing you in there, they got pushes there, I think, to get everybody in the train.
I'm not kidding you. You were not getting on that train at that time in the morning. So you rode in between cars, said, you know, in the winter, whatever, got to Queens Plaza, and then you jumped in. But I was listening to Jack McElvoy. You know, he worked down in Alphabet City. I just listened to his when he did the podcast. And, you know, thinking about going to high school down there as a 14, 15-year-old kid, you know, the Bowery was the Bowery.
The Bowery.
You know?
Yeah, no doubt, man.
When, you know, my mother would be like, you got to stop drinking. You're going to end up on the Bowery. It was New York Skid Row, and it really was the Bowery. I mean, you were hopping over bums. But, you know, the one good thing is you came out of the train, you had like 50, 60 guys at any given time coming off any train. So no one messed with you. You walked 2 or 3 blocks, you went to school, and then whenever you got out, same thing, 100 guys to the train, and you got out of there. But, when I heard his stories about, Alphabet City burning, down that Avenue A, B, and C, First Avenue, we never ventured down there. You just went to school, and then you walked up to Bleecker Street, got on the train, got back to Queens. But you didn't really, you could see what, you didn't want to be wandering around that neighborhood. There was nothing, a lot of drugs down there, and there was a lot of fires.
Crack down there.
I know. To hear and tell those stories, though, I know that was the real deal back there, Alphabet City, 28 and 11. Mm-hmm. So senior year, I decide to work full time. I go to school in Manhattan, and then I work 4 to 12 in that gas station every day. Like, wow. I tell my kids the story. They're like, you work full time in high school? I can't get these kids to freaking take the garbage out. So, but yeah, I was on I was on autopilot. I needed money. What? I know, but I made it work. So work was never a problem, but it was a lot for a senior in high school. But I paid my tuition. Remember, it was $800, so it took the load off my mother a little. But I finished up there. I was able to, I would do my homework in the first period. First period, doing the second period, and I would just do that throughout the day, get everything done, rinse and repeat, and do the next day. So the accountant that worked in that gas station, he had a nice Mercedes-Benz. So it's time to go to college. I said, he was an accountant, and I said, oh, okay, I'm going to go into accounting. He was the only one in the neighborhood I saw that had a nice car, and he was an accountant. So I said, I got accepted at St. John's, and I said, okay, I'll give accounting a shot. So I was still working in this gas station, and what I was doing in high school was not working at St. John's. You had to really buckle down and do some work. So, you're dropping classes, you're getting the Fs, and then you're like, all right, I got to stop. But it just, I don't know, it wasn't working. After 2 years, I can honestly say the college thing was not working. It wasn't like on the weekends I was buckling down and catching up and doing papers. It was, we were doing things that we did on weekends. So, that didn't work out too well. So lo and behold, it's time to take the fire department entrance exam. And I'll never forget, we were out the night before. It's Saturday morning. I think it's in 1982. And 3 of my friends knock on the door. Let's go, going down to Lower Manhattan. And I was like, really? We got to do this? And yeah. I had the car. If they didn't knock on the door, I think I could have very easily blown it off. But went down there and wrote 100 on the test. That was an easy test. I'm not taking credit for writing 100 on the test, but I think 100, 99, 98. No one wrote under a 95. If they did, they didn't tell anybody. They just, but to get high.
Yeah, the physical was the hard part, not the written part, right?
No, the hard part. I remember there was 10. The first 10 questions was they gave you an apartment layout, fire escapes, windows, and then they took it away and they asked you 10 questions on
the memorization portion of those civil service tests.
Yeah. That was the first part, and after that, it was pretty basic. But so write the 100, and I'm like, wow, who knows? Now it's time to get in shape for this physical. Right now, working in this gas station for 3 years, I'm eating White Castle pizza, PJ Horgan's cheeseburgers.
White Castle.
Yeah, trust me. I didn't know what a gym was, but I was like, it's time to get my ass in shape. So I have to give props to my friend Carmine Pastina, because this guy, he was a Mason with the Laborers Union, and every day he would come to my house and drag me to the BQE. You guys know the BQE back then, right?
Yep.
So it was off to the BQE. I'd be like ducking this guy, but he tracked me down and he got me to the gym. And I tell you, he got me in shape. I didn't take the Pudgy Walsh classes. You guys know Danny Sheridan. He was, he was always like, come on, we got to go down. Danny was really dialed in. I can honestly say I wasn't. But, I did get myself in shape, started running and went to the gym and at least, gave myself a chance. So went down to the Brooklyn Armory, and I think they took the 100s first. So, I don't think anyone else in my neighborhood wrote 100. So they were all, I was like the guinea pig. So I got a 95. I made it was like a 4-minute obstacle course. I passed it by 3 seconds. I dragged the dummy past the line. I dragged the dummy. I let go of the dummy and I walk about 10 yards. And the guy, the instructor goes, yo, that's got to go past. It's got to come over the line. I come running back, drag it over, get it over the line. And he goes, and then told you score right there. He goes, 95. I'm like, wow. He said, yeah, you made it by 3 seconds. So, oof. I know, 3 seconds. I'm telling, I just having this conversation with my wife the other day. 3 seconds. Think about it. 1, 2, 3.
Change your life.
Yeah.
And my trajectory of my whole life is different. It's really unbelievable. And believe me, I never forgot that while I was on the job. I wasn't the guy complaining about doing late watches or BI or taking details. I was like, are you kidding me?
I used to love those guys.
You know what happened with those 3 seconds? You know what 3 seconds is?
It is. I mean, 3 seconds of my whole life is different, So I never forgot that. And believe me, it's, I don't know.
Chief, we say that all the time. Almost every guy has a story similar to, the guy knocking on the door to come to get you. Well, here, his application, fill this out. The guy's like, what?
My neighbor was a fireman. He was an older guy. He came down. He handed me the application.
Yep, I know that.
40 years later, right?
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Staff chiefs, their neighbors or their father filled it out for them. But, listen, in that neighborhood, there was no long-term planning. You lived like week to week, night to night. Going to college really wasn't. A couple of my friends did. I'm not going to say, but they were the minority. Most of the guys went construction, Federal Express, or a lot of them got in the building, Local 94 operating engineers. We had a couple of hooks there. So, I think I would have landed on my feet in one of those spots. But, once
you wouldn't have had the best job in the world, though.
Oh, I know. Well, I often think my father was a steam fitter. So I remember going for, they had like interview night where they're taking applications on the Knights of Columbus on 48th Street. So my father says, all right, you're going to go there. You're going to meet Danny and just tell him you're my son. And that's it. So I didn't think much of it. So I go to the Knights of Columbus. The guy checks in. He goes, all right, go see that guy. I says, Danny here? He goes, no, he's not here tonight. I'm like, no problem. I go to the other guy. And it's a legit interview. And I am totally unprepared. And he's like, all right, why do you want to be a steam fitter? And I just draw a blank. I had worked in a gas station. I used my hands. I had all the answers. I just froze. I didn't even realize I was going to a job interview, but that never happened again. I tell my kids that you just got to be prepared for anything that someone throws at you. Spend a little time and show up prepared. Don't draw blanks and don't just because a friend recommends you. You still got to, I don't care, whoever recommends you still got to do the job. No one's hiring you on your good looks or who you know. So it's not that complicated. I like welding. I am good with tools, and I'm here to work. And guess what? They'll hire you, but
don't come up with the hamina.
I know, and I did. I'll never forget it. I was like 18 and 19 years old. I'm like, that didn't go too good, but thank God, I had this came in. But like I said, I probably would have. I knew a lot of guys that got onto the fitters and stuff, so I probably would have circled around. Back then, there was a lot of layoffs and stuff, so it was kind of tough. But I think eventually everybody got on. But
so you get the call. When did you get the call?
So like I after the gas station, then I bartended for a little while. Then I went to Federal Express. I said, I got to get a legit job. Federal Express was a great job too. They paid well, but I knew I maybe did a year and a half there. And a couple of guys in my class were FedEx guys. So so 1986, March of 86, we get the call. First of all, I thought I was going in December of 85. My investigator said, you're in. Don't give your work, your 2 week, whatever they call it. But and then all of a sudden, the list was going to get thrown out. The whole thing with the women and this judge. So there was a lot of guys that were tied up. One of my friends, Mike Walsh, he was a guy that he was a 103 guy. He had written 100, but he had something going on that they kind of delayed him a little. So they took a lot of these guys that were sitting in limbo, and they said, here's your chance. You're going to go in the next class. And they pushed. Well, he ended up being in my class, but they thought the list was going to be terminated. So those guys they tried to get into the class. But then again, the list came out. And then when we were in Proby class, it got thrown out. I'm telling you, it was really, nothing really came easy the whole way. I was just talking to somebody about it either. Through all the promotional tests, just something always seemed to get, some clog got seemed to thrown into the, into the engine. And, but, we got sworn in '86 and, it was, 7 weeks Proby class, living in Sunnyside, commuting to Randall's Island, 15 minutes. It was fantastic. Yep.
Yeah, where are you?
I am in the back row on the left.
Who did you have in your class? You anybody that
yes.
Any names that we would know?
Jack Hodgins, he just retired, right? Chief of department.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And Jake Lamunda. Those are probably the two famous ones. But I had a lot of great guys. A couple of guys went to my battalion, I would see. Mike Walsh, I had known from Woodside. Like I said, Lester Lane, you see him in the front. He doesn't have his uniform on. Lester lived in Inwood. He was going home after work one day, and there was a job in his apartment building. He ended up making a grab, I think. And
oh my God.
Yeah, his apartment was filled with smoke damage, and he lost all his stuff. But he made a grab in Proby School. Yeah, Lester Lane. It's a pretty funny story. So they used to see him.
That guy on.
Yeah, no. He retired as a fire marshal, Lester. I used to see him. He was assigned to Manhattan, but real good guy.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hey, grab as a pro. Oh,
yeah. There it is.
There it is.
There it is.
They
the 80s.
I remember distinctly.
They
said no teeth. If you're smiling, you're gonna run. So they didn't want any glamour shots. It was just get your mug up there and let's.
Nobody smiles on those pictures.
No.
Cool. It's the 80s. The hair's part in the middle, and he's
got the Beefsteak Charlie with the mustache going, bro. Benny Terrio going there, bro. You know it.
Yeah. So here I am. I'm, we're hanging out at Finnegan's Bar on Woodside. I don't know if you guys knew that, but Patty Finnegan, Gerard Finnegan, we're on the fire department, a little older than us. So Patty's like, "Oh, where do you want to go?" I'm like, Patty, I don't know. I'm just happy to be here. Well, 69 engine. I work up in 69. Great place. I said that'd be fantastic. So, I think the fix is in. I don't know nothing at the time. I don't go meet the captain. I don't know. You only know what you know, and I didn't know too much.
Right.
So Patty made it sound like the fix was in, and I was expecting to go to 69 engine at a Proby school. So one day we're in the lunchroom, and I'm standing in a corner, and I see these guys come in, all like tatted, the ripped up T-shirts, the turnout coat. I mean, and I see one guy point in my direction. He's pointing at me, and I'm like, "What the hell?" Guys, like they're pointing at it. I go, so they come walking over. I'm 6'4", so it turns out I know the guy now, Red Meany. I know him well. He goes, "Yo, you play basketball?" So I go, "Yeah." He goes, "You good?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, and they were with Joe DiBernardo, the deputy. I think, the deputy from the 6th, or maybe he was he was a deputy in the 6th then. He goes, "Are you interested in coming to 50-19?" So, you don't want to insult the guy. I know him 50-19. Fantastic house. He says, "Here, take my card." I still have his card to this day because I didn't call him. But so I'm like, I got Patty working on 69 engine, and I got, possibility 19 truck. Things are looking up here. So I don't call Chief DiBernardo, and then they read out the assignments, and it's ladder 115. And so the guys are all laughing. You can't go to 115 either and say, "Yeah, I didn't think I was coming here." But
beautiful firehouse.
It is a nice firehouse. Old, beautiful building.
It was comical. But listen, you don't know. Listen, you're only in there 7 weeks. How much networking can you do? But anyway, Jimmy Cash goes to 69 engine. You guys know Jimmy. Jimmy was a sergeant on the cops. He lives down here in Long Beach. I still break his balls about it to this day. But Jimmy was a sergeant. He got 69. His brother was brother was on the job, so he got 69. You know, and of course they're not taking everybody. So Jimmy gets it, and I get 115. So I got to say, I showed up 115 too. I didn't know where 115 was. Probably about 3 miles from where I grew up, Long Island City.
Yeah, right. It's pretty close to where you grew up, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but the only reason you went to Long Island City, well, you didn't go, but the only thing down there was drugs and prostitution.
Yeah, back then it was shit. Yeah, back down.
Yeah, you could afford to live there.
Now they're sipping cappuccino over there, but before that it was fucking. It was
by 5 o'clock at night, there was tumbleweeds going through the street. I mean, it was an industrial area, people working in factories, and by 5 o'clock, it was a ghost town. But I got to say, the guys in 115 were phenomenal. You'll never hear me say one negative thing about that place. The guys were unbelievable. I made some of my best friends on the job. I still was pinching myself like, this is too good to be true. You know, I walked in. I just got to give some. My first captain was Freddie Fuchs, but my lieutenants, Jerry Eshman, very influential guy. Joe Watts, he was a 28 and 11 fireman, unbelievable officer, and Gus Potato. Those are my 3 lieutenants. But the guys and the friends that I made there, Leo Russ, Will Sussman, Rick Kelly.
Ricky Kelly.
Rick, great. I mean, all of them.
Movie star Rick Kelly.
Yes.
Ricky Bobby? No, sorry, just kidding.
I don't want to leave guys out, but I'm going to have to. I can't read the whole roster, but, you know, they really were tight. We, Scott Freeze, Jerry Roach, Terry Quinn. I mean, listen, it was unbelievable. I mean, you know, we did a lot on the outside. We were all and going to work. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better place. It really was great firehouse. A lot of senior guys, but it was a quiet house, you know. So
yeah.
You catch any work there?
Yes. I remember we used to go over to Brooklyn, and Brooklyn had those frames. And I distinctly remember a couple of good jobs in these frames. The one that stands out. Yeah, I mean, you come over the Greenpoint.
Yeah, right over the Greenpoint Avenue.
And you see, it was second due, and you see these things are off to the races. One I distinctly remember, I was a probie, and we had a guy there for the night tour, came out of fire prevention. Guys, you know, when they come take night tours, they usually like going to quiet places, so they're not getting involved. But this night, it was on, and we pull up this guy torches a frame, and he's asking me questions. I swear to God, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, this is, you're the lieutenant, I'm the probie. So we threw a 35-foot ladder up. We crawled into the 3rd floor. Like I said, I didn't know much, but I said, this thing's going to flash over. I mean, it was hot as balls, made it about 5 feet. And I'm like, well, I'm listening to this guy that's asking me what we should be doing. Eventually, we made it back out to the ladder.
What do you think?
Swing and a miss.
Struck him around.
Yeah, no, it was no joke. Yeah. And my first job I remember was it was a factory over in Greenpoint. Same thing. You come over the bridge, you could see the things going good, and I was like, wow. I said one thing: I had to get in better shape. I remember being wiped out and just nonstop work. You gotta really
physical job, man.
Yeah, you got to train for the job. You do. You have to. You got to be ready. You had a nice gym there. There was no excuses. You had plenty of time to work out, and you got to really stay in shape. And I was glad that I was able to take advantage of that. But like I said, great guys, great officers, and the guys were real funny guys. I mean, I got to repeat some of their pranks because they were classics. We were doing BI one day, and
who doesn't know what that is?
I know.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it was like a theatrical movie prop place. So we're in there. We're doing. One guy says, "Let's get some fake blood." And Artie Paris was there. Artie's a big black guy. We said, we're going to have a race riot over the kitchen table. Charlie's going to jump over the table with a knife, Artie, and then you squirt the blood up. Like he'll cup the knife. So we had this whole thing orchestrated, and it went like clockwork.
To who? The boss? You're getting the boss. You're getting the boss. Like, oh yeah, yes. I got you.
Yeah, everyone's in on it except the 2 bosses. And I'm telling you, I thought the guy was going to have a heart attack. The blood was everywhere. He's cupping himself. They set it up perfect. You're lazy, buddy. You don't do shit around here. Fuck you. You're picking on me because I'm black. He leaps across the table, cups the knife, and the blood is everywhere. I mean, I'm telling you, classic, except for the officer, because I'm telling you, I thought he's literally going to have a heart attack.
Bro, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, one other time, when I first worked there, the kitchen was on the first floor and the sitting room was on the first floor. It looked like a garage. I mean, bare bones, nothing to it. I mean, it was a little dingy. I'm going to say it now, but it was what it was. I didn't know any better, but piece of concrete came down, almost killed the guy. So they said, all right, we're going to put the kitchen on the third floor. And it's one of the nicest kitchens on the job now, all lit up. They don't run, so it's perfect having the kitchen up there. But so there's a big plastic thing, they're doing work up there. So we got one of the guys that's coming in for the night to Pete Antini. He's a contractor on the side. He knows everything about everything. So they cut a little hole and put, "Do not look in this hole." Right? So we're on the other side.
That's an invitation for her.
It is. It's a classic. I mean, we got 8 hours to think this up. So you got guys on the other side banging pots and pans, making believe we're working. Here comes Pete. He's got to go make sure everything's on the up and up. Shoves his face right in the hole. Pie in the face. You had, classic stuff. You had plenty of time to think these things up.
His spidey senses never went off.
Chief, that's the truth, right? Like there's been some things over the years, like the places that maybe aren't running as much, they could get into trouble,
yes.
just because they have to, that's too much extra time.
Idle mind is Devil's Workshop. Yeah,
man, you ain't lying. You ain't lying.
That's funny though. That's funny. Don't look in here.
I was like, didn't the guy's spidey senses go like, "Don't look in here"? All right,
set up, man.
What do you mean?
It was perfectly. They were like, "How tall is he?" And they got it. And his face went right in there.
Fucking
but it was a lot of laughs. Oh, and buckets too. Buckets.
Face hurts.
You guys know Mark Horak?
No.
Mark was an Astoria guy, strong fighter, but I had like 2 years on him. I remember I bucketed him this type of the year in December. I'm howling, and he was a probie. I don't know how he refrained from punching me in the face, but he was livid. I'll never forget, he had his army jacket on, he's strutting down the block, boom. And he's like, "No, you can't do that in December." I was like, I didn't know there was rules on bucketing.
No rules in bucketing.
No crying in baseball.
Come on. I mean, his hair is all dripping, and he was livid. But you didn't want to get punched by Mark. Mark was a strong dude. But
that's funny.
The guys that don't know, that Firehouse is where they filmed Third Watch, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. And then they did the whole Firehouse over. I forget what year. I mean, top to bottom, they did the whole Firehouse.
They did, and guys got gigs off that show. I mean, I was out of there, but I didn't realize how nice that Firehouse was really till I left. I knew it was big, had a lot of architectural detail. I mean, beautiful roof looking over the city. I mean, it really was a spectacular Firehouse.
Yep.
It just when they started sprucing it up and got the kitchen off the first floor, it really enhanced it. Got some light. It was just. Like I
should have bought a couple of houses across the across the street there, Chief, huh?
Oh, we had an old Italian guy on the block, Tony, and he was like, "You got to buy these houses. There it is." I mean, this guy owned probably all of Long Island City, and they were going for like 40,000. I mean, brownstones were 50,000. I mean, crazy. But it took 30 years for Long Island City to come around. Every area I've ever worked in the city has regentrified. I missed every one of them. Every one of them. I missed.
Swing and a miss.
About 1,000%.
Yeah.
Real estate deal.
Where are you living now?
I know. I did all right down here in Long Beach, but
all right. At least one of them.
I know, but
don't tell me you live.
Yeah, I couldn't even pay house tax. Never mind buying houses. I mean, another thing. All these guys, we worked in the clubs in the city. Hard Rock. I was working in Shout, Jukebox. I mean, we were like rock stars. We China Club every Monday night. We were tearing up. It was unbelievable. I just could not believe what I stepped in here at the fire department. Going from working in the city, having guys to hang out with.
3 seconds.
I know. Yeah. Listen, I was telling my wife a week ago, 3 seconds, I'm not freaking here. So
Yeah.
it's 3 seconds, but yeah.
So when do you start to get the itch to move?
That's what I was just going to ask him.
Yeah, well, that's. I got one more quick story, and then I'm going to go into that. I was around for one of the most technological advancements that ever came into the fire department. Happened there in 115, but not too many people know about it. It was revolutionary. To this day, it's still paying dividends. The cable company showed up, and he's like, we're going to put in the cable boxes in. They have remote controls. Now, I'll never forget, 2 guys were like, wait a second. I can be on this couch, and I can change the channel on this thing. It took them a half hour to get the concept. Now, remember before that, the junior guy would sit close to the TV. The senior guy would before he fell asleep, would change the channel. So the junior guy would change the channel. Then they came out with this thing that had like a cable, like 10-foot cable, so you could maybe get a little bit from the couch. You could vision, whatever. But then the wireless remote control. I mean, it revolutionized the job. The guys could not believe that this.
They didn't have to get off the couch.
They couldn't get. They didn't have to get. It was mind-boggling. But in a place there, that was big news. But the day the remote control came.
That's funny.
Yeah. So here I am about 2 years into this. And like I said, I love the guys. I loved everything about it. I was going stir crazy. Me and Jerry Roach, I've been to a couple of fires, and, we all went home afterwards, but you see some things, you got covering guys. I said, I'm going to get a set of books. I just want to learn the job a little bit. I would read down on the watch and stuff. Had no ambitions. I said, I didn't even know when the lieutenant's test was coming. I was like, whatever happens, I'll just, make myself a better fireman. Then you see fire tech starts up, and I'm like, oh, I'll give it a shot. So you're taking practice tests, and we had nothing but downtime there. I was like, let me just be constructive with my time. I couldn't do the 2 movies and sit there and watch 2 movies. I was 2 years in, I knew this wasn't happening. So Jerry Eshman, like I said, he was a 123 guy. He's like, John, this is not the New York City Fire Department. Go put your paper in. We'll pick out some trucks. Where do you want to go? I had always worked. I took details to 116. Everyone said 116 is like a Bronx company. Now, 116 in the 80s, that was the real deal. They were, I can't say anything bad about 116. Yeah, they were fantastic. They were busy. And everyone said they were a Bronx company. I'm like, I got a good idea. I'll go to the Bronx. But anyway, I put my paper in for 4 companies. And in that year, I didn't hear anything. It was a waste of ink. I didn't go meet the captains. I didn't really follow through. I didn't know. I wasn't doing it as spite. Knowing what I know now, you pick one company, you go see the captain, and he'll tell you where you stand. But you got to put a face to the paper. I mean, as a captain, I used to get the paper. The guy doesn't have the courtesy to come meet you. Then it's a waste of ink. So that first year, nothing happened, and now the guys are breaking your balls. You're never getting out of here. We were a high overtime company. That's another thing. They weren't letting guys go. They were certainly not sending you to a place with double groups and stuff. But so then the following year, Danny Sheridan, he was in 17. He's like, we got some guys getting promoted. Why don't you come and meet the captain? He was kind of instrumental in me putting my paper in for 17. I said, that's great. Met the captain. And then it was still a year. I looked because I still have some of the paperwork. I didn't get it didn't happen. I think it was because it was a lot of overtime. So, and then after that, it was like, 1990. But my paper was in all of 89. It didn't happen. So then in the, I guess it was in the spring of 90, the transfer came through. So that was what I was waiting for, and I was ready for it. I did 4 years down there, and like I said, I'll never say a negative thing. The guys are fantastic. Joe Fernicola, I got to mention Joe. Joe, great guy. Still talk to him. Pete Antine. But so
what was it like going at 17?
Oh,
big shock, or
it was unbelievable. I went there. I had got assigned with 4 probies, 2 in the engine, 2 in the truck. We kind of went like the same weekend. And I said, I'm going to treat myself like a probie. I kept my mouth shut and just, did the meals, the watches, the rig, and it was fine. These guys were doing their thing. I wasn't going to interject my wisdom, or I just kept my mouth shut and just tried to pick up as much as I could. And it was eye-opening. The guys there, I mean, it was the greatest show on earth. I cannot describe it. Now, when we're in 115, guys like, what do you want to run all night? Why are you paying the toll? They had every excuse not to do it. And my first week there, I said, this is the best thing that I ever did. Worrying about paying a toll or right. I knew right away it was the right decision. The guys were fantastic. The officers, too. I have to mention John Vaughn. He was like a father figure to me. Frank O'Grady, Joe Kelly, Steve Cook. Those are my lieutenants when I first got there. Ray Callahan. I mean, these are like handpicked from the heavens. There was nothing better. They were all 20-year guys. I mean, you knew.
I love it.
They were. You were not getting in any trouble. They had seen a lot of fires. The guys in the back step, Tom McDowell, I'd sit across him, and he had 20 years up there. Had more fire duty than most people on the planet, but to see how calm he was, how he sized up, how, trying to just pick up everything you can, because these guys were the real deal and they wanted to go to fires, So that was a nice change, seeing guys that were aggressive and then when they were doing it, they were the engine, 60 engine, unbelievable. The nozzlemen, you had Johnson on, Capiello. You meet guys, they were like, oh, he's a good nozzle man. Gene Kundal, and I never met guys that were introduced, oh, he's a good nozzle man. But you know what? They were good nozzle men. Guys put out a lot of fire, and I think guys could still learn a lot from guys like that. But it's a breed that's getting more and more lost. There's still a lot of companies busy like that, but
there was always a few guys, Chief, that you used to hear, when I first got on, there was a few guys you would hear guys mention a name and say, that guy's a good nozzleman. You want him,
right.
You want him on the line if he's going down the basement or what, if you're on the floor above or any of that shit, right? They don't give that too easily. I don't think.
Right. Is there a greater compliment you could call somebody?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah,
right.
I never met guys. Hey, I saw guys that are capable, but it's nice to be introduced to somebody, and that's his forte. But they saw a lot of fire, and they were good at what they did. Like I said, yeah, I mean, I still get chills when I go to the masses there, because looking back, those were by far my best years on the fire department. I mean, enjoyment wise, just a lively bunch. Even when I was going off a tour, I felt like I didn't want to leave, because you felt like you were missing something. It was just so much energy, change of tours. But going back to the guys in the truck, Billy Lawson, Ray Trinkle, Welsh, these are the guys in my groups. Vernon Richards. Vernon passed in the Trade Center. Great guy. JJ, Julio Jimenez, Matt Hansen I work with a lot. Guys in your groups, back then, like, guys did their 24s. It wasn't mutual mania like it is now. So, you kind of, your groups were your groups. You either had, one side of the 24 or the other from who was working, but it wasn't really many guys mutual in and out of the groups. You always had the same offices. Right. And it was kind of, you work with the same guys all the time. But
how long did it take you to catch your first job day? You remember?
That I don't remember, but it was fast. I mean, you were putting your mask on every night. It might not be like, something ripping, but we had the projects right across the street. So you guaranteed a lot of
complexes and shit. Yeah.
Right. And, even, you're getting rooms of fire here and there, You had vacants up there. We were doing, that picture was taken in a vacant. You had a lot of vacants up there, so you're doing some vacant work. And you had your tower ladder. You're getting called over to Harlem. You're like third due truck over there. So you had a big response area. You're running down with 29 truck up with 55. So
when I got into 117, we used to relocate with.
Oh yeah.
With 17 quite a bit.
Yep.
Like It seemed like that was the only ones we would really relocate. I would think I would go there more than any other relocation. Maybe 138 once in a while, but mostly 17 truck, I would say.
Yeah, and us too. And we would go to 117 a lot. I do remember going over there, but like I said, it was the biggest thing the biggest change I noticed too was the gunfire. The projects across the street, every night you heard definitely gunshots, but if not that, like AK-47 open up war. I mean, that was a nightly occurrence for years.
Wow.
I just could not believe how blatant, and the drug traffic out on the street, everyone in front of the Firehouse trying to shake you down and this and that. But I got to say, when Giuliani, I had to look it up, Giuliani lost in '89 to Dinkins and he won in '94. Once Giuliani got in,
Yeah, he killed everything, Giuliani.
in '95, I'm going to say within 2 months, it cleaned up right in front of your eyes. So, you know, the people in that area, I'm sure, you know, it was important to them to get the neighborhood back. I mean, I don't know how anyone could live, you know, with gunfire on a nightly occurrence, but you know, that was the norm. And then all of a sudden, they got their neighborhood back.
Giuliani was the one who killed 4th of July.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
He killed 4th of July. Like I had 2 4th of Julys where I don't even know, 4 or 5 jobs, and then I worked every 4th of July after that for like 10 years. I don't think I had 4 jobs put together. You know what I mean? Like he killed it. Like killed it.
No, you were guaranteed going to work. I remember Chris Ryan, you know, he went up to rest. He was my mutual partner in the beginning. He was like, I'm working 4th of July. I was like, I'll go out to the Hamptons. You work my 4th of July. I'll give up the 2 jobs. But yeah, the guys that wanted to go to fires, the 4th of July was definitely what it going to be. But like I said, you know, it all came around. You know, you catch a job here. You know, I wasn't. It all equals out, I think. But
you catch any jobs on the nozzle in 60?
No, I never had the nozzle. I would have, I think, backup and you definitely control, but yeah, they wouldn't give you the nozzle. You weren't getting the nozzle. And that's expected, you know. But yeah, it was took details. 41 engine. They were in the battalion. Yeah, 55 truck. Back then, it was only battalion-wide detailing too. So you know, even when I was in Queens, right, the 4-5, you only had a couple of houses, and then in the 14th battalion, we had 42 truck, 55 truck, 20 and 29 truck, and that was it. So that's the only place you get detailed. Then we lost that in that arbitration, and you was citywide. But at 41 engine was in the 14th, so I used to work there a lot. Then you know, when before they went to the squad, when they were the enhanced engine.
You have a green beret?
Yes, that was a must. And I think Billy went into it that I think it was Willie Cottrell's mother-in-law started making them.
Right.
And then we lost them. Hayden took them away. Remember, he was saying the
I remember that. It was all
like
weird. Yeah.
And then we were able to get them back in. But that was a lot of pride for them. And they, you know, we used to march, but you know, you can't, you know, 1,000 guys deep. You know, it takes a lot to really, you know, keep everybody in check. But you know, I know Hayden's point. He was like, this guy's wearing green parrots on their shoulders. You know, it's really, if you're gonna have a parade, you got to. We're not too good at policing ourselves, but
Cons, you got some pictures of the parade.
Yeah, I think that's Tom McDowell. He was one of the senior guys. Patty McAndrews. The guy in the front is Frank O'Grady. He was my lieutenant, and Jimmy Lafferty is carrying the banner. So yeah, that was always a great day, Patty's Day.
The Green Breeze.
And then I think I have a picture with Paul Mannix too. We're marching. Yeah, that's me.
Wow,
and
look at how young he is. Holy shit.
Yeah, that's Steuben Day. So John Raw was the president of the Steubens. My mother was born in Germany, so I was a Steuben. And yeah, Steuben Day. You know, Kevin and his brother were always there too. So it was always.
Just getting ginked up last week, as a matter of fact. Thank you.
But
when did you start studying then?
Well, that's why I had to give Paul a shout out. I had done a study group for lieutenant with a couple of guys in 29 truck, and I got to say it was very lackadaisical study group. We 17. I don't think it was notorious big study house, but that list that I got made off of, we put like 12, 13 guys on the list.
Wow, it's a big turnover.
It is. It really was. And these guys were hitting it pretty good. And they're running and they're starting.
That's a lot of guys to lose.
I know. It really was. I mean, they always lost guys, but this, I don't know. I don't know if the timing was right, but a lot of guys got made. You know, you had guys come in for a year or two. They would leave. But Paul had invited me to study for captain. Now, Paul, on that my lieutenant's test that I think I took. I was supposed to come out in 91. They hired like 200 guys off the end of the list. They postponed it at least a year or two. So, you know, like how do you go from studying now? You just put the books away, but we end up getting made. And Paul's like, I'm starting a study group for captain, and that was eye opening. How sharp Mannix, I think, wrote 100 on that test. It was that lieutenant's test where more couldn't be incorrect and correct. They had pictures on it. It was a real curve.
It was like weird. It was a weird test.
It was really strange. If you knew your stuff, you know, you scored well.
More than 100 questions too, right?
Yes.
Wasn't it like a weird thing? Or
I think Paul wrote a 216. That was 100.
Right.
But if the more you answered, the more you got hurt. So it was kind of an odd thing. I know I screwed up a couple of questions with that. But, you know, overall, I did pretty good. I mean, I would think my list number was 644. I had no seniority, so I think I was perfect. I was no rush. It's nice just to know. But now, you know, you got some time before you get it made. But Vernon Richards, he was incredible, too. Vernon was a Vietnam vet. Vernon probably had 17, 18 years on it. He was incredible. He'd throw questions out. He was really big studier. And, you know, he had a wife, 3 kids. I'm like, how do these guys find the time? But Vernon was sharp. I would see him at Fire Tech, always sit in front of the classroom, top of the list, and he goes to 7 truck, and, you know, he perishes in the trade center.
Wow.
But Vernon, you know, and he was on the captain's list. Vernon would have been a chief or a deputy, but he really, he was inspiring. They named that high school in Brooklyn after him. You know, I'm almost tempted to reach out to the principal and see if they'd like some guys to go in and talk about him, because I think that's the least we could do is let these kids put the name to put some stories to the name, because, you know, I'm
just the name,
you know,
then, right?
Yes, it's 23 years ago. No one in that school.
Yeah. What school is that? Where is that?
It's in. We went to the dedication. It's like East New York.
Okay.
It was a public school that they renamed the Vernon Richards FDNY High School. So that's a really nice tribute. But I really feel we should kind of help keep his legacy going and just tell some stories. You know, because there's only a handful of us that probably.
I think we should get on that, Roof. We should make that like.
Is it near 290 and 103?
I think it is.
Is it on Pennsylvania? I think I remember that. Actually, now that you say that,
I think so too. We went.
I think it's on Pennsylvania.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure. I really
might have to make a show out of that and get people over there, get the kids.
Yeah, I mean, it would be a nice tribute to a great guy.
I know. Somebody just wrote. Bill just was saying it's the FDNY High School. I think it's like kind of adopted that, and I know a few guys. Is that him right there? No shit.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, Vernon.
No shit.
Like I said, very inspiring guy. The way he was able to block out and study, and
Bobby Sarno was saying it's right around the corner from 290.
Yeah,
that's the one I'm talking about. And I know a few guys that were from 290. They go there, and I think they have like the cadet program there too.
Yes.
So, I would do that. I would definitely do that.
I would get that going for like springtime, Roof.
Yeah, I would definitely do that.
Just like we did for the telephone company thing with the plaque. You gotta...
Well, they have career days. I mean, I think it would be nice to at least bring the students in and let them know.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Bring them in an auditorium, and we'll tell them all about. You know,
that is crazy. How wow! Look at that. Very nice. That's it's crazy how it has to be your time, right? Almost. I mean, you think to yourself like, just answer like you said. You had 3 seconds and it changed your life. You know, here a guy maybe gets, 5 questions, right more than you, and now he's 400 on the list as opposed to 600 on the list, and he gets promoted at the wrong time. Yeah, that's the one.
Thought of that too. There's a lot of fate, and exactly. He has a good day, and here he is. They need people down in 3rd division at that time. So yeah, that's how it plays out. But I guess that's life. It's hard to really, predict how things are going to play out. But when I was there too, John Hannon. This is another story of fate. Is John was on the boxing team, stays after hit the heavy bag, and then he's driving home on the Deegan. A tractor trailer tire comes rolling down on the other side.
Oh, I heard this too. Oh my God.
Crashes into the car, And now
Incredible.
17 responds. They get out and they're like, wow, this looks like Hannon's car. Where the hell is he? So like for 5 minutes, they're looking on the side of the road until they finally see that he's pinned by this tractor trailer tire. Now, that's the same thing. If he doesn't hit the bag that night, or if he hits a red light, that thing is, he's not involved. But
the timing there is absolutely ridiculous, right?
I know.
Time is your time, man.
Yeah.
I say that to myself sometimes if I'm in traffic or something like this. Don't be pissed off because you might be supposed to be getting somewhere on time, and this has just saved you because you only think of it when it doesn't happen.
Yeah,
you know when it's the worst case scenario.
Or maybe if you did relax and you went faster, maybe I don't know. You can't call that one. Speed up, son.
Oh shit! I know.
Did you have any before we move on for 17? Did you have any oh shit moments while you were in 17?
Yes, I do. Yes. I just want to talk about Pete McLaughlin too, because Pete came through before he went to Rescue 4, and like I said, I got Pete pretty close to Pete because I lived down here in Long Beach, and Pete was an unbelievable guy, fearless. That's the only way to describe Pete. I mean, wherever he went, he was not going to, back down. He was the real deal, and I took that one kind of hard too, Pete. Just way too soon. You hear the stories, and the guy was full of life, and just another guy gone way too soon. And at 17, I'd lost a couple of guys, definitely before my time, but they had a tough string there with Harry Hoey, and guys got electrocuted. So that house, the guys that there had been through it all, and here it is, sort of like repeating. But that
was what, 94, right, Ruff? 94?
Yeah, 95, 94. Yeah, because that was right up on Steinway, 117. We went up. We were
Steinway close to Northern, right, all the way up there.
Right there, like it's right there, right on that corner there.
Yeah,
I remember we went up there to help with the fire marshal, but and I remember him being the sniper, right? So young, like he was so young. I remember he was a big kid too, right? Like really
jacked. And he was in great shape. He was. He's the guy
Chief. After that, every time I went into a fucking apartment, I poked a hole the whole fucking way, right? I poked a hole as soon as I walked in the door because of that. I poked a hole in the fucking back room wherever I went because of that. You know what I mean? Listen. But I said that it was something I always felt taking pride in the fact that, I didn't forget.
Yeah.
Like what maybe if that's what they, again, who the fuck knows, but that was one thing that they talked about on that. They didn't have like after action reports, but they had said, that the fire was in there and, maybe had he possibly poked a hole, he would have seen that there was fire. Who knows? But I'm just saying.
Slow down. Slow down. Yeah, I agree.
Either way, it's something that you took with you.
Say what?
Either way, it's something that Louis took with him, whether that's what happened or not.
You need these things. The one thing I learned is these guys were more methodical. They weren't rushing. We've all had these officers that are sprinting into the building. Take your time, size up the building, try to, pick something up on the way in. If you're running, first of all, you're only as fast as your forcible entry team. And now with rabbit tools and stuff, how fast these guys really running? You can run as fast as you want up to the floor, but you're still going to wait for everybody. So what difference does it make? Take your time as an officer, size up, and definitely don't separate yourself from your forcible entry team. But
that sounds like an old school tip right there, buddy.
He's been dropping them. He dropped a few along the way. You know what I mean?
Way there.
A couple little nuggets dropped out.
Breadcrumbs down there.
Breadcrumbs. Yeah.
Yeah, my closest call on the fire department was in 17. We were at Park Avenue. It was a vacant building. It was a 5-story vacant. 14 truck was on Park Avenue. They have the elevator. It's by Rags, that bar that was there. They're pumping water in the front, and we come along the side street. We're in the back of the building, and we're set up in the rear yard. Me and Matt Hansen are in the bucket, and now this thing's burning for a while. It's, you could see like there's not a lot of structure to the building. Still just pumping water in. And believe me, we knew you shouldn't really take the bucket down too low there. We said keep it away from the building as far away as you are from the building. If you don't drop 20 feet down you have to be 20 feet away for collapse purposes. And we knew that, but we were just dumping water in, and for some reason, we dropped down a little bit too far. And I remember looking up, and I saw the whole building start to collapse.
No shit.
Yeah, I mean, and I said, that's it. We are done. We were probably like on the 3rd floor. We had like 3 stories coming down. And for some reason, it just came down and just clipped the bucket, but didn't get us. So that was like, a change your underwear moment. We didn't even have time to think. We couldn't even have moved the bucket. Thing just let go. Another lesson learned, why you're getting so close to these buildings, but
And we get lucky.
I know. It really
Sometimes.
was.
That's a lucky one. Yeah.
It was one of those you laugh about it afterwards, but when you looked up and you said,
Oh yeah.
I
bet you when you were a chief, you kind of kept that in your head.
listen, there's no sense being, but the way we were in there, it was really like we couldn't get in any other way. It was tight. There was a building behind it. We did everything we could to try to maneuver the bucket in there, but yeah, I mean, as a chief, your main thing is keeping guys safe. And if you're seeing something, just, back the guys out. Just don't get too aggressive. You're trying to do your job, but it's all got to be within safety parameters. It's no sense losing your life at a vacant building. That's the irony of it. There's no loss of life there except the guys in the bucket. But, that was no shit moment.
Mm-hmm.
I have one other funny story. Well, this wasn't too funny, but, I was at Fire Tech one time, and they're telling they use this example. I'm like, wait, this happened to me. That this story really got out.
Wait a minute, that's me.
I know, it was one of those. We get called to a cat stuck in between a building down by the Bruckner. Like I said, it's kind of a factory industrial block. It's a Sunday night. Steve Cook is our officer. He's a real animal lover. So we're in between 2 factories. We hear a cat. It's about 8 foot back. So like, yeah, there's a cat there. Whatever. He like, all right, let's force the door and start try to get the cat out. We're like, hey, you're the boss. Force the door. Bring in. So now the alarm starts going off. We go back. Now we're measuring 8 feet with the hook, whatever. Now we got the mall. We're trying to hit it. All right, no, we got to go back another 2 feet. So we're destroying this factory for this cat. So with that being said, when we forced the door, it must have set the class 3 off. The owner shows up. Must have been. We were there for a while. He's beside himself. He's screaming at the top of his lungs. What are you doing for a cat? He's going berserk. So we're like, yeah, well, listen, we're almost there. We're almost be done. With that, we're taking breaks. Me and Matt are using the mall. I turn around. This guy picks up a pipe and goes to friggin' hit Matt. Matt's crouched down, like taking block. I run and friggin' tackle the guy. I mean, he would have decapitated Matt. The guy was beside himself over this friggin' cat, over the damage we did to his store.
Right.
So, like I said, the cops came. They arrested him. And, we pull out the little kitten and almost get a guy killed. Almost get a guy killed. Like I said, he was swinging a friggin' steel pipe at the guy's head. He would have killed him over a friggin' kitten. But
so now he's getting charges and his building's fucked up.
Cops took him away, and
it's a good night for him.
I mean,
I was hurt at work today.
Oh, look, Gonzo's back.
Oh, he woke up.
A little NyQuil or something.
Yeah, the cat story.
Cat story.
One other story. This circles back too. We're at the ski races. I sent a couple of. So we used to love the ski races. Always the last ones in the bar. I go out there. It's like 7 o'clock at night. It's dark. There are my skis. I see them. They're friggin' 6 foot high. They're big skis. And I'm like, all right, good. My new skis are still there. We finish our last beer. It's last call. I go back to get my skis. The skis are gone. 15 minutes later, I'm like, these motherfuckers. It's firemen because we're the only ones left in the bar. It's late. Someone clipped my skis. So I go down to Lost and Found. I was like, I knew the model number. I was like, they're gray. Here's my phone number. This is pre-cell phone, all this. That's it. Some fireman stole my skis. No big deal. A couple of weeks later, coming in for a night tour, guy in the watch goes, hey, someone called and has your skis and they're going to drop them off. I go, really? He goes, yeah, they called Hunter. They found out like, all right. So I go up and change. Just as that comes, that happens. House watchman's Joe Brosey, good ball breaker. Hey, Rice, the guy that found your skis is here. I come down the stairs. I go, the guy that fucking found my skis, the guy that stole my skis. I go, you fucking prick. He goes, they're not. Hey, it's not me. I'm just dropping them off for a guy. He told me he tracked you down. I live upstate. He's a Queens guy. It wasn't me. I'm like, all right, well, just tell the guy. He fucking stole my skis. He's like, I wasn't there. I'm just dropping the skis off. So I was happy I get my skis back. So we'll file that in the bank for later.
All right.
So, yeah, that's it. So I start studying. I told you, Mannix invites me to a study group. And that's when I realized how really stupid I am. You know, like, I passed the lieutenant's test, but when I studied with Mannix, Tommy Wick, Pat Fitzgerald, I don't know why they let me in their study group. I was definitely the weak link, but when I saw with these guys how smart they were, I mean, I was shocked. I said I got to pick up my game.
It pushes you. Yeah, no doubt.
It definitely does. I mean, as opposed to my other study group where, all right, the Rangers are playing, let's skip this week. You know, you really get what you put in, but I was just shocked how sharp they were. And when I took that captain's test, it was a hard test. I made it by 1 point. So there was no doubt in my mind that study group put me over the top. But anyway, I get promoted to lieutenant. Let's go lieutenant first. And
yeah, we got to move along a little bit.
I know. I thought I have a problem.
No, we got time.
You go fast.
Oh, okay. There's my promotion to lieutenant. I never understood that. You know, they take your badge off your cap, and they're like, okay, you're a lieutenant now. All right, no white hat, no badge, no shirt. You look like a bus driver, you know. And you're taking pictures with the commissioner. I mean, they're embarrassing, the pictures. You're wearing your cap with no your cap, right? You're wearing your cap with no badge, and that's now you're a lieutenant. But anyway,
Leader of men.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
But they've squared it away since then. But you know, the job's come a long way. It's really, you know, kind of comical the way things are done. But anyway, yeah, what's it? 96, get promoted. It's like November, I go into flips and I get out 12, like right before Christmas. So get assigned to the 3rd. Everyone's like Vernon would say, go to the 3rd, great division. A lot of guys do, you know, the Hall and Bronx Shuffle. I said, perfect. So I get assigned to the 11th Battalion. Chief Brett is my evaluator. Chief Brett used to live in Long Beach. You know, his sons run the job. Great guy. So I get the assignments. I get assigned another guy. I call the 3rd Division. I heard they're very user-friendly. I said, can we start doing self-24s? Me and this other lieutenant, we're opposite groups. And the aide's like, yeah, no problem. So, all right, he'll do the first half. I'll do the second half. I'm like, this isn't too bad. Back then it was answering phones. Chief Hosepian, I'll never forget it, leaves a detailed message. I don't know who you think you are. You don't do 24s. You're an SA lieutenant. I don't know where you came from, but you know, you're doing tomorrow morning. You're doing straight day tour. So he wasn't in on our self 24s. You know,
You didn't get the message.
you got to give. But
memo.
his brother Hosepian was in the 12th, so he was the good Hosepian. But this guy, he didn't like the act. But so I never forget my first tour, 22 truck. I was driving in. They were coming from a job uptown. Chris Donovan was driving. Eddie Meehan was in the engine. Even though Eddie, great guy. But yeah, we caught a little job that day, and it was nice. I remember when I left 17, Ray Callahan, he's like, John, you've seen it all. It should be easy. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, you know, definitely hasn't been a sheltered life up there, but you know, there's a lot of learning to do. So then my next day tour, at first they gave me 6 choices. You can work here. Then the next day tour, they go, you're going to 37 engine Saturday day. I'm like, yeah, okay, no problem. So I pull up. Oh, so now you're in flips for the weekend. They're talking about drinking. Oh, you're going to be the straw boss. It's time. We got to get the drinking under wraps. You got to, you know, be the one to start hooking people up and writing. You know, they're really passing the Kool-Aid around flips, and they want you to be the guy that's going to change the job around. But anyway, my second day tour, I show up at 40 truck, and I'm like, wow, it's pretty crowded around here. can't find parking, you know, so I'm parked all the way around the block, and then I bring my gear in, and it's their Christmas party, you know. So here's my second day tour, and you know, 40 trucks Christmas
Kids
party.
everywhere.
Yeah, kids, and so that was an eventful night to say the least. But you know, I just thought it was ironic that, you know, a week earlier they're like, "You're going to be the guy that changed the job."
And you're going into the Christmas party.
Yeah.
I can't feel my face.
Hey, Lou.
So you know, it was nice bouncing around the third, but when they didn't have a spot for you, you did theater duty, like on a night tour. You went to the 9th Battalion. They would send you to a show and you would check the lock boxes, and so you watched the show, and then it would like stick around in case someone taps out. So, you know, I'm only made a couple of weeks maybe, and I go to 17 for the night. You know, they don't want. I'm not driving to Long Beach if they're going to need me. So anyway, sure enough, a guy taps out. They call me at 1 o'clock in the morning. Go to 91 engine. Guy tapped out. I'm like, fine. Show up there, and it got there probably 2 in the morning. You know, guys are switching stuff over. But then the next morning, everyone's showing up, and I got to say, I mean, that place. I didn't know where 91 engine was, but they had a lot of energy. It was an unbelievable senior house. Yeah, I mean, I was in awe. I wanted a double house, but I got to say right off the bat, I was in love with that place. The amount of senior guys in that place that were through the war years was still there. Often I remember the deputy showed up one time, and, you know, I'm probably 11 years. Who's the junior guy? And I said, me. And he goes, not you, on the back step. I'm like, okay, he's got 27, he's got 30, he's got 21, you know. Yeah, Bob Sweeney was the captain. Marco was the lieutenant. Marco Vitolo, Steve Lonigan, Jimmy Brandt, Fran Trapani. You see Norton in the back. Norton was one of our honorary 91 members from his days as the rack driver. Books can be written about what happened there, but Norton left his mark up in 91. But
wow, look at
I got to say,
face.
really great guys. And, you know, I wanted to learn some engine work, and I said, this is perfect. These guys were unbelievable. The chauffeurs, the officers, and the senior guys. I mean, they knew how to put out fires. And like I said, I went along for the ride. It was a great experience. I cannot say anything better. Just great place to be for a new lieutenant looking to catch some engine work. And it was busy up there, you know, 12th Battalion, the company's 5826, 3514, 5343. I mean, same thing. The officers and the guys up there, second to none. So it was a fun time to be up there. There was work, and you know, everyone was doing their thing. So it was really enjoyable.
Landed on your feet again.
Yes. Well, that was the kind of luck of the draw. Guy tapped out, like I said, you know, but it was just, just being at the right place at the right time. So
it is all timing.
You know, it is. He came back. And I would bounce. And come back. I was like the fifth wheel, and then eventually spot opened up. I think Mike went to 263. Mike Barry, right? Was he there when you were there, Lou?
Mike Barry? No,
he wasn't the captain.
I was out of there already. Yeah.
Yeah, this has to be about 98.
Yeah, I was out of there. Yeah.
Yeah, so I took Mike's spot. Yeah, Tom Cozy. And Marco came back as the captain. But yeah, great guys. And I was there for 9/11 too. So I told you I was on the back of the captain's list. I was, I think, 3 from the end. I think 82 was passed, and I rode in 82. So that list was dead in the water. I think they would get another test was coming up. I think they were up to like 165, and the list was pretty much ready to end, like in a year. So I was 3 from the end. I had my books out. I was like, I got to give this another shot. So I remember that morning, my wife went to the gym with my young guy was 2. I think I was going to study group. I heard D. Domenico. He was teaching in Staten Island. So I wasn't going to fire tech, but I think I was going to study group. And so then I saw the towers, and I was like, I got to go. And I gave her a kiss, went into 58 engine. That was a staging area. And they were putting us in task forces, an officer, 5 firemen, by the order you showed up. So I was like number 2 there. I'm like, all right, let's get ready. And then we just sat there. Chief Andy Richter, I remember he showed up. He was assigned to the 2nd Battalion. Now the guys are starting to get a little rambunctious. This is like 1 in the afternoon. It's like, fuck it, we're going. And Richter's like, my battalion's down there. They're missing. You guys are staying here. You're listening. He was adamant, and he kept all these task force there till 1800, and we didn't go down. So they said, go back to your firehouse. We'll get you in the morning. So we didn't go down that day. We went down the next day. But I remember there was 2 guys from Vancouver. They came at 9 o'clock at night into the firehouse. Guys, can we sleep here? We drove down from Vancouver. We helped out, and we're like, yeah, we put them up. The next morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, they're going to the trade center for the 2nd time. Now we're awaiting a bus, which obviously it's not coming. And now it's here we are again. It's the 2nd day. Finally, I guess we commandeered something. But I said, 2 guys from Vancouver had been down there twice, and we're still waiting, to get transported down there. But I mean, at that point, they realized it's going to be a long operation, and let's just try to keep track of everybody and not get anybody else hurt. So, but yeah, that was my 9. Went down there after that. But that whole first day, we just sat 58 engine, and then they sent us back to quarters. The rig came back. We cleaned that out, got all the dust off. 91 responded down there. We didn't lose anybody. But Bobby Nagel and 58 engine, that was a horrible story. And the 2 chiefs in the 12th, Freddie Sheffield, and I wrote it down. Crazy. Yeah, my memory's going. But yeah, because I just talked to him earlier. I'll find it. That's bad. But yeah, so that was my 9th.
After 9/11, then they started making everybody. Is that how you got made?
So they ran through the whole list, and we got promoted a year after. They ran the end of the list. It was a year. We got promoted 9/14 of 02. So they ran through all those lieutenants that year, and there's like 15 of us left. And then the last 7 guys on the list, of which I was one, they said, you're going to tactical training. And, at that point, what could you say? You were just happy to get promoted. So they sent 7 of us down to tactical. And that turned out to be a good year, too. It really, Eddie McCown was one of them. Bobby Hoyt, Augie, Kananowitz, K9, Eric Sands, and Farrington. 7 of us ran tactical for a year. The guys that were there earlier had left. Philly was there, Cervino, and so
bro, you're fucking up here. This is fucking Disney World here, bro.
Battling with Santangelo. I mean, I tell you, they had wars there, but we did what we had to do. It was a very rewarding year, and then when I was there, they said they announced a Chiefs test, and I had a lot of downtime there too. I'm like, I'm going to make this work for me. So stayed an extra couple of months, wait for the Chiefs test, and ended up studying there, and ended up
make it work for you, man.
Yeah. So
hell yeah.
Yeah.
So where did you get out of there? You went to you were there for a while, then you went to
I was there for about, I'd say we had to do a year. I probably stayed maybe an extra 3 or 4 months to coincide with that test, and then I went out into to the 14th Division.
You bounced?
I did for a little while. I went UFO in 136. Then John Buckeye got the spot. Then Jimmy Hayes like, oh, why don't you come do my vacation in 163? I'm like, fine. First night tour, get a job across the street, and I end up making a grab from a woman. So that's another irony, John takes 136, I'm SA, and right across the street of where 6 blocks from where I grew up. We pull some woman out of a rear bedroom, big H type. So that was pretty good. But yeah, it was nice. And at 163, I had done my 30-day detail. Well, they used to be in the 4-5 when I was in 115. So great house there too. 163. Remember all those old timers and they had good softball teams. So it was nice working back there. As a captain. And then I ended up going to medal day because of it. So it turned out pretty good when considering.
Hell yeah!
Did all three? Who got the medal? You and the just you or the inside team?
I put in for the. We got knocked on the unit, and then 3 1/4 got a unit. Yeah, so the engine got a unit, and they knocked the unit for the. But I tried, But so yeah, so
Most of the time
bouncing
that
around.
happens.
Yeah, I know. I mean, bouncing around, and then so now I wanted to go to a truck, and timing was everything. The captain of 116 was getting promoted, and believe me, that was a dream assignment to me because I remembered from 115 what a great place it was. There was only one guy, John. My thing. Yeah, that's John McDonald was the only guy that I had remembered from when
Johnny Mack.
Yeah, Johnny Mack, great guy.
Nice guy, quiet guy.
Yes, but yeah, Christy Maria, Richie LaRocca, Tommy Regan, he's a chief now. Bobby DeMott, great guy, and Brendan Murphy. I think he was a probie or just got off. He's a lieutenant now in the 3rd.
What year was this?
This had to be
2006.
Yeah.
Was Tommy Rizzi still there then?
No, Rizzi was gone.
Yeah, he was gone.
But Rizzi shows up to everything, so you always see Rizzi. But like I said, great house. I couldn't have been happier.
Single truck now too.
Single truck, rescue, sock support. That was another thing. Rescue would come and they do some drills about, the shoring, building. I forgot all the terminology, but the rakers.
Rake ashore.
Lace post,
Rakers
double
and
T,
shores,
single
right.
T,
So they had these huge circular saws.
Show off.
I mean, they had to be 12-inch circular saws, 10-inch circular
wheelhouse.
Yeah, 10-inch saws. Yeah.
Crazy, right? So he's showing guys. Now listen. Exactly. This is not.
That thing has a lot of torque.
Time to start. I want to learn about tools. You have guys that are freaking carpenters. Let them operate the circular saw. I saw a guy. He had his hand on the cover, and he had his ready to pull the trigger on that saw. His fingers would have flew across the apparatus floor. Thank God.
A lot of torque, man.
Yeah, but I mean, like you gotta stay in your lane. If you're not proficient in friggin' tools, that's building rakers for sock. There's a lot of other work to do. You can run the stuff in. Let the guy with soaring skills do the soaring.
Or the guy that can swing a hammer, because you guess
Exactly.
guys that can't swing a fucking
just
hammer.
stay in your lane. This is not the time to learn. And you see stuff like that. Guys want to do things, but it's like the chainsaw, right? That's a danger. I know one of my good friends, a tree guy, he says, bar none, that is the most dangerous
Oh
tool
my God, yeah.
God ever put on the face of this earth. You think this guy's been doing it 40 years. He's still nervous with this thing. You think you're going to go and cut a couple of little trees down and you're going to be proficient? And it doesn't work.
I cannot tell you how many times we used to go for trees down, and I would see the first, guy, like you said, you want to let guys do it. And I would watch a guy start doing something. I'd be like, all right, hold on 1 second, bro. Like, hold on. Because I cut a lot of wood and, I'm like, you're scaring the shit out of me. Like, this is not going to go, like you said, like, I don't think people take it as serious. Yeah, it's not going to end well.
Did 116 have the collapse rig in there? Did you?
Yes.
They did, right? Right.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was.
Listen, Marino was there, right, Coops?
Who?
Marino?
Oh, Danny.
Oh, yeah.
Not Dan. Chris Marino.
Chris. Yeah, he just retired.
Yeah.
I went to his
He was a
party a
senior
couple
guy.
months ago. He was a great
Oh,
guy.
that's
They were
crazy.
they were a really squared away place. Captain's dream. Really tight house. Bob Kirschberg. I got to give him he's a great guy. And Jerry Farrell. I recruited him. Jerry was in 42 truck. And then he ended up going to 116, spent at least 10 years. He was a big asset. And Bill Kelly. Bill Kelly ended up passing. He was a great guy too. So we had great offices, and it was really just another great spot. Like I said, here I am, just going spot to spot, really landing on my feet. So, life was
You were a
good.
skull, too. You could say you were a skull.
Flaming
I know.
skull.
Not too many guys can say that, but yeah, I was very proud. And like I said, still try to show up. They'll have a party like 116. I'll show up and see these guys, but they're real characters.
Were they still wild like that when you went there? Or?
Not like they were the first time around. But listen, they, sometimes you had to be a captain. And
I was there in '96. They were wild men. They were wild men.
No, they were. It was like I said, they prided themselves. This is a Bronx company in Queens. And I'm like, well, why don't I just go to? I didn't believe in transferring within the battalion. Guys had told me that. I kind of agreed.
Yeah,
To me,
it's
that's
kind of
like
a slap in the face. It is a slap in the face.
It's like transferring light. If you want to transfer transfer. There's hundreds of firehouses. Like, I'm not going the next company over and, like, you know, especially to those guys in 115. I had too much respect for them. It's just, you know, guys will leave, and you know, not. You had a small window. You had 2 or 3 years. If you didn't transfer within that, you were
stuck
you weren't
there,
going
right?
anywhere.
Yeah.
So I understood that, and you know, just got to do what's good for you. I mean, everyone's different on this job. Everyone is where they want to be, so that's what makes it work. You know.
Right.
Say it,
I
Coop.
just want to be in a slow place. There's a seat
Yeah,
for there's
I
an
know,
ass
nothing wrong with that.
there's
There's
an
an
ass for every ass,
Yeah.
or an ass for every seat.
There is. Guys had a busy side business. I get it. They're not going to run all night, you know. But you know, do what's good for you, and it works out. You know.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it. Do it. Let's get that new car smell. Let's go.
You know I love open it up. You know I
Open
love
it
that
up.
new car smell. Do it.
Do it.
Yeah. So getting back, you know, at the Rock before 116, tactical training for a year. Like I said, you're seeing everybody from all over the job. You're doing 3 drills a day. It is pretty rewarding. You know, you got the smokehouse. We're lighting it up. Dino Marino, I just saw him today. He lives down the block. He was there.
Oh, he lives on our block, right?
Yeah, Pete Blum. You know, everyone came through there. It was not a bad place to be for a year. You know, at least you were.
While you were down there, did you? Don't mention any companies, but did you, like, if a slower company down there, did you watch them do some of the tactical training and say, "What
Yes.
the fuck is going on here?" Right?
We had, I'd say, at least once every 2 weeks, we had what the fuck moments. Like, what job are we on? I mean, it was bizarre. I mean, besides charging the hose bed, I saw a guy drop a saw. I mean, we're only going up to a
You need a fitting for that.
Drops the saw, almost kills the chauffeur.
Full idle.
You would shake your head. And
Dude,
you know
I
what?
never seen what's his name. I saw. I was doing the rescue school there. I think it was probably like that, like 2008. And Chief Bro, man, I remember him giving speeches over there. Like there was like Code Reds or May Days or whatever. He's like, "This is fucking Disney World, bro. Like this is like white smoke. This is a smoke machine or some shit."
I know.
You know, like
It made your head spin. But listen, we've all had bad days. I'll
hell yeah.
And say I haven't made mistakes, because I have.
Absolutely.
I don't care what rank, you make mistakes. But
You could get
you
turned
know,
around quick.
at Disneyland, this is like all basic stuff. We dummied it down. We're just kind of like, you know, get the dust off the hose bed and let's just, you know, charge a line and go in. But listen, guys are trying, but you know, I don't know. There's a breakdown somewhere. You know, some of these places, you know, they're not drilling. I mean, you know, we've all worked there, and you just gotta try to, you know, take a portable out, do something, just get proficient. This is we're playing for keeps here, you know.
Playing for keeps.
For keeps.
Yeah.
Look at that.
I mean, that's all anyone ever aspires to, is just to become comfortable and proficient in what you have to do. I mean, it takes years. Some guys never get it. Some guys get it pretty early, but you just want to have that confidence, especially if you're gonna try to study, even if you're not studying.
Yeah.
It's nice being an OV or a roof man, and whatever they throw at you, you know you got. But it takes years to get to that.
You
level.
don't practice. It's just a depreciating asset, right? I mean,
yeah. I know.
You said if you don't get out of there, if you don't make that move, you become like complacent like them, and you wind up being that. You never get out of there.
Right. And you know what? I went back there when I was covering to 115 on a night tour, and it was great. I worked with 3 or 4 of the guys, and you know, we're telling stories. Cool. I'm like, it was fantastic. But when I went back to the office after that, I was like, you know, I've been out of here like 13, 14 years at that point. And I said, shit, it's the same friggin', you know, like nothing's changed here. And meanwhile, I've had 2 great journeys up to the 14th Battalion and the 12th Battalion. Like I almost, it was hard to explain. Like I didn't feel guilty, but I was like, holy shit. Like, you know, if I would have stayed, I would have been talking the same thing. And here, you know, I got out and worked with
the job. Yeah, you saw the job,
I mean,
like legit.
Yeah, like it was just kind of weird. I went from happy to see everybody to not feeling sad, but it was just like an odd position. Like shit, like why am I so lucky? Why did I get to experience that? It's kind of a weird feeling. But
3 seconds.
Dude, you just took it right here.
It is unbelievable. I should put that on my license. I think that's gonna be my new license plate.
Put that on there. 3 seconds.
Yeah.
That's what people ask you.
My whole life.
All right, so I can't believe I've been talking this long, but
Goes quick.
BC
it really
11/8/2008.
Yeah, so here okay, this is another thing. So now I'm on the end of the captain's list, the chief's list. If you see a pattern here, I think I spend more time on eligible lists than anybody on the job. Lieutenant, captain, and chief. I'm like Mr. Eligible. You know, I know Pete King's personal friggin' cell number. You know, like you got to network and donate money. These eligible groups can be a little disheartening, but you do what you can. You know, you got to try to get guys promoted. So anyway, we're down to like the last week of the list. There's 26 of us left. Cassano doesn't want to promote us. Jimmy McGlynn, who was one of the guys in the trade center, one of the last guys pulled out, is the last
39
guy.
engine. Yeah.
Yeah, 39 engine, Jimmy. I worked with him at 17. Great guy. I said, they're going to leave this freaking guy. So they cut a deal. They're going to promote the first 13. I was, for one time in my career, I made the cut. But now we're fighting for the last 13. I'm like, they can't leave Jimmy McGlynn. So it comes down to the why. They're not doing it. They're drawing the line. And then finally at the end, they say, okay, we're promoting them. So that was good. We got everybody promoted. And they really did us solid. But there was only one problem. There was no spots for us. So they come into the command course. And I remember Richie Allies, he was with the union. He's like, listen, they did everyone a favor. You're going to go to operations. You're not even going to get assignments. You're going to be like a citywide manpower pool. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Send us wherever we go. We've been through this drill before. So now they tell us, okay, just try to get 144 hours in your 25 days. I'm like, okay, great. So he says, all right, we want you to step up for Christmas. I'm like, yeah, I'll work Christmas. We got out like a week before Christmas, work Christmas. And now there's no tours. They're loaded. I mean, Christmas, you could pick up a couple of tours. Guy take comp time. Now come January, you know, you're waiting by the phone, you're calling. Is there any work? There's no work.
Nobody's on vacation most of the time.
There's 26 of us, and there's nowhere for us to go. So, I mean, what do you do? And then the one time they call you, Saturday night, you know, it's a tough way to live your life after going through your whole career. And then, you know, you can block out stuff. You have something to do. But here, they call you Saturday night. You already have plans. No. And then you don't work for 3 weeks. And it's like, you know, they didn't know how it was going to work out with the time. Now you have to do a double 144 the next cycle because you didn't work. I mean, I don't know. We got creative with the
Creative writing.
Allegedly.
there
Allegedly.
literally was nowhere to go.
Gons, you taking this memo? Are you listening to the man? You know what I'm
Trying.
saying?
I don't know.
Right.
This is when there was TPRs before city. So a little flexibility. But so now they come with another bright idea. We're going to send you to the boroughs. 5 guys go to each borough, and they'll give you projects to do that. Okay, so me and Dino lives down the block. We're going to Brooklyn. So we show up. Chief Kilduff, Brooklyn Borough Commander. Hey, Chief, how you doing? We're here. Who sent you? What are you doing? Yeah, we're newly made. I don't have work for us. Okay, all right, get a cup of coffee. We'll get back to you. Stay there.
See that box of pencils? Sharpen that out.
Jimmy Leonard was the he was the XO. He was there too, or no, he became the Brooklyn Borough after Kilduff. That's who it was. I got to tell
you. You mean Ed?
Ed, yes.
Ed, yeah.
But so finally, like after the end of the week, he's like, listen, they're looking for a guy in operations. They got something with these CDA buildings. They're looking for a chief. I really think it wouldn't be a bad place to go and, you know, make some, you know, and Ed Kilduff is a tough guy to say no to. And believe me, I wasn't looking to go to Metro Tech, but I saw the writing on the wall. I was like, let me just go. It's one less guy that's looking for tours. I can, you know, I got to do 4 days a week at Metro Tech. Let's go. They promoted me. I felt like it's give back time. So I went to operations, and Sweeney was chief of the chief operations. So he, you know, was doing these CDA buildings. Pretty much, it was just getting underway there, and I kind of had to figure out the whole thing. They were getting these buildings downloaded. They were taking a lot more serious at Metro Tech than the units were. You know, this is all from Deutsche Bank about these inspections and the software coming to the Firehouse. I got to say, it was a little overwhelming, but I was the point man. And, they start you off slow. And I said, let me try to do what I can. And I was able to, at least get it up and running and get it out to the field and meet some of the chiefs and try to just make heads or tails. The guys in the field had no clue, but now they're responsible. You have 3 days to do these buildings. They didn't even know where to get it. It really was rolled out.
Yeah, I remember that. It was crazy.
Really rolled out incorrectly. No one knew what was going on, but they send these buck slips out. So, I just tried to make heads or tails out of that, and ended up staying a year. So now he's like, Chief Sweeney, he's like, you got to try to get some sort of thing we could put fire prevention that spells it all out. So here I am writing documents. Now I'm saying to myself, this is going to be a horror story. I'm going to have D. Domenico dissecting every word for test purposes. It was going into the fire prevention. This was not something I was capable of doing, nor did I want to do. But I had to get this all into one document. It was like 30 pages. Awesome. So I'm pretty much writing on bar napkins and whatever. But Chief Sweeney goes, Tom Meara in the 9th Battalion. He's the chief. He says, give it to him. I said, well, okay. He's the magic man, whatever. Anyway, I give him this thing, and like 3 days later, this thing comes out. I'd never seen anything like it. The guy, really, really sharp guy. I mean, that thing was perfect. I mean, it was one of these things. I took it, you could hand it off, and everyone was like, that's it. But that was Tom Meara. I have to give him a little credit because he did an unbelievable job. But wow. He was an engineer, college educated. I mean, he really was a sharp guy, and it showed. But I have one quick story, and then I think we can go. We're in the Chief's Command course, right? So they bring in all the high-rise experts to give you a class. So Jimmy Leonard comes in, and he's going over brush fires. And I'm like, Jesus, brush fires? I've never been to one, and I plan on going to the 6th Division. I don't think I have any brush fire worries there. So why am I going to really pay attention here? So he goes through his spiel, does a great job, brush fires. I'm like, okay. So we get out.
And Murphy shows up.
That's right. There he is. Hey, Tom.
So I'm in Metro Tech. Eddie Baggett, where do you want to go? I said 6th Division. He goes, you know what? We're going to put you in the 11th because you're working here, and then you can pick up tours in the field, and we'll just keep you here. And I'm like, okay, that's good. And then I go to the 6th. He goes, yeah. So I'm like, perfect. So I end up going to Foamy. Like, this is a chance. I don't know if you have to be a chief to go to Foamy. Fire Officers Management Institute, to get out of the Metro Tech for six weeks. You go. It's up at GE. You go 1 week a month for 6 months. So I was like, I'm in, please. This is my way, just get me some sanity out of Metro Tech. So go to Foamy, Micah Jello, Kevin Woods, John Papa, Brendan McSweeney, Andy DiBadova. We had a great crew. You go up there for, open bar. I can't, if you know Foamy, it's a pretty nice thing. But anyway, Andy DiBadova is up there, so I get friendly with him. And he's like, oh, you're in the 11th, right? He goes, well, I'm getting promoted. Why don't you go UFO in the 4-8? I'm like, where is the 4-8? He explains, he says it's an unkept secret. He says it's a great spot. I was like, yeah, but he says, take the 4-8. So I'm like, he's telling me, I have already learned on this job, take the sure thing. Don't don't hold out for something. So what made me leave Metro Tech, what I thought was funny too, I'm in there breaking my balls for a year. I'm not kidding you. I'm doing like 3 guys' jobs. I'm asking for help. There's no help. I hear where my office was, the aides used to hang out, and I hear one of the aides talking about how he's getting fucked and that he's only making such and such money, and this guy's making this. I look down at my pay stub. Now I'm a chief, and he's making like 10 grand more than me. I swear to God, I go right into Sweeney. I go, I'm out of here. He goes, what happened? I said, it's time. I'm done. He goes, no problem. Listen, you did a great job. Where do
you want to go?
No. He goes, who's your replacement? I said, I didn't get that far yet. I'm just, he goes, well, get your replacement and you go. So he goes, they're doing a Chief's Command course. Go there and tell somebody, either volunteer or someone's getting shanghaied. So I got somebody. But so I get to 4-8, go to UFO. I mean, like I said, another godsend, unbelievable battalion, great companies. 282, 148, 122, and your second due with the 4-1 and the 4-0. So you're the all hands chief of all those flyers. And 4-1, trust me, he's going flyers. Unbelievable to finally go to Brooklyn. I had never, growing in Queens, I've been in Brooklyn like 5 times in my whole life. I never had any reason to go to Brooklyn. Picked up a handful of tours, as a covering captain, and always picked up work, 132. I remember going 157, wherever they sent you, you're going to work. But I wanted to go to the 6. You want to go where you're comfortable. And here I am in the 4-8. I'm getting lost going to the Firehouse. Thank God the aides all knew, you got East 2nd Street, it was, I was getting lost going to Firehouse, but what a great spot. Huey Mulligan, Tom Carrick, Mike Steinman, and the aides were great. It was just, it was another spot I just landed on my feet. So I was really happy to be there too. And I felt like I hit for the cycle. Started in Queens, went to the Bronx, went to Manhattan, finished in Brooklyn. I mean, you can't write it any better than that,
Beautiful.
Yeah, it really was. So getting back to the brush fires, it's like I'm there a couple of weeks. There's a big brush fire going on in Brooklyn. I mean, in Staten Island, I'm like, what's a brush fire? A couple of friggin' twigs burning. 3 o'clock in the afternoon, respond to Brooklyn, brush fire. I'm like,
the world is on fire.
Lou, I'm going over the Verrazano Bridge. It looked like the Trade Center was burning. I'm not kidding you. There's heavy black, 2 big plumes of black smoke pumping like I've never seen before. I'm looking at I go, what the? I'm first due. I couldn't get out of Brooklyn. The companies are coming from all over. We pull up. We finally get there. And I hear Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. I go, we're at a brush fire. Someone's giving a Mayday. They had volunteer companies that were there. They somehow got turned around. And I didn't even know where I was. The thing is huge. It's, half a mile. And here I am trying to find Mayday. With that, Jimmy Leonard shows up. He lives right there. He comes over and friggin' takes command of the situation. And within 10 minutes, everything's under control. But I'm like, he came down from the heavens and showed up after a Mayday at a brush fire. I'm like, yeah, maybe I'll pay more attention to those.
I was going to say, maybe you'll pay attention the first time he tells you.
I know. I couldn't believe it.
I went to a few in Canarsie that were, I had guys, like you said, again, I was a new lieutenant. I didn't know anything about brush fires, really. Like you said, it's twigs burning, but
never.
It's all the reeds, right? It's all those reeds.
Yeah.
And what happens is when the wind's going, it's happening so fast. I start to realize about these guys, out
Smoke
west.
peppers?
Yeah, like all those guys, you can get jammed up quick because things change.
That head comes at you, bro. You're in trouble.
And I saw
all occupied buildings,
around it most of the time. Yeah. And I had guys in the engine over there that were, we laugh all the time. One of the guys, Joe Bizel, he was a 290 guy, one of my chauffeurs, great guy, just an incredible dude. He had the nozzle. And next thing I know, he's like pushing into the middle of this thing. I'm like, oh, Joe, what are we doing? Hold on. He turns around. He's like, Lieutenant, it's already burned here. Something like that. He went right out to where it had already burned and was almost chasing it, and ended up putting out a majority of the fire,
Inside out.
Yeah, no, that is crazy.
Inside out.
I mean,
right.
I had gained a lot of respect for brush fires after that. But,
And they were taping my pants. I didn't know you got to tape your bunker pants
there's
too.
a whole thing. Throw the towel ladder up for an observation thing. I mean, I had read it 100 times. I never really thought I'd be putting it into use, but there's reasons why they have these bulletins. The guys that have been through it, and it makes a lot of sense. But I couldn't believe, here was Jimmy Leonard showed up and took command of that, because I got to say I was a little overwhelmed at the moment. By the time we got there, it had to take us 45 minutes to get there.
I think Howard Beach gets them a lot too. All those places.
All along the Bell Parkway.
Yeah, right.
But hey, look, you had buildings falling out into your bucket. You had out of control wildfires. Good things sometimes with good people, Chief. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean,
A lot of heavy
It just
visits.
shows you things can happen. You know, like I said, a May Day at a brush fire, but
Just
no,
like
listen,
that.
you see the wildland fires, things happen to these guys.
I knew that guy was going to show up. I knew it. Murphy's Law. He's got to show up.
Always does.
Murphy.
See, I told you that was going to go fast, right, Chief?
It did. I mean, I can't
Just
believe
like
I
that, Stanley Yarrow.
I can go back talking about Sunnyside and give you another hour.
But it's that time, Gons. You're right.
No. Okay, yes. It's time for the old school tip of the day. I was waiting for you to chime in there, buddy. All right, Chief, take it away.
All right, I always liked this one, and I used to give it a tactical training. I think I'm going to give 34 truck credit for this, but they always said when they pushed into a taxpayer or mixed occupancy with a store on the first floor, you know, we had a lot of problems with suspended ceilings and you know, the collapsing on guys. So they would always have they'd have the can man immediately poke the ceiling and try to see if there's any fire above them. And the forcible entry man would take the point of the Halligan and go through the floor. So right when they walked into the door, they would check for fire in the basement and up above. And I think that is a real good way to slow things down. You know, you got to think, you know, you're waiting for water. You're going to take the glass soon. But, you know, when you first make your move inside the store, check and see what you got. You know, you got time. You don't have to fly into the back of the store. Sometimes you're not even going to make it back there with Collier's Mansion conditions or all the stock. So I think that's a good move. Immediately check the ceiling and check the floor, and then at least you know what you got going on when you try to get to the back.
I like the floor one.
Yeah, well, and the ceiling too.
Never heard
we
that
had
before.
we
No,
had a lot
definitely
of
the
companies
ceiling.
with these
Yeah.
suspended ceilings. You know, you pull down the first ceiling and then you find out there's two other ceilings, and by the time you make it to the back, the thing collapses and it's not pretty in there when the whole thing lights up. But and for the engines, I would just like to say, just try to be a little. You know, listen, I got to witness good nozzle men, how they whip that line. The line is always open. The line is always moving. You know, no one's moving a line by themselves. Your backup man's got to be more engaged. And, you know, with engine companies now, I've noticed guys always like little pockets of fire. They'll stand there like fixated, like, you know, baseboard. You know, I had rooms of fire going, and guys like telling me there's fire in the baseboard. I'm like, yeah, hit the baseboard and let's get moving here. Like, be more aggressive with the line. Don't. You know, the officer doesn't have to. You know, the officer can move around as long as he knows where his guys are. But be more aggressive with the line and don't ask to put water on fire. That's what your responsibility is. Open up the nozzle and work it and put out fire. Don't. I've seen it numerous times where guys just seem like frozen. Like, but this thing's getting away from us. Can we get to the seat of the fire and try to get water on it? I mean, I see it without even trying to look for it. So, what's happening? You know, behind closed doors, and you know. But that's it. Be more aggressive with the line, and the engine officer doesn't have to. You know, he can start looking for more fire too, as long as he knows where his team is, and you know it's clear enough where you can see. Try to be more aggressive with the line, I guess.
I like
Excellent.
it. I like the floor one. I never heard that before. I always did the ceiling. I never did the floor.
Yeah, they put the point of the Halligan right in, and then
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I think it's.
And you know what I hear a lot of guys talking about, like guys with the line, and even for myself, the more I watch some of these videos, like, you know, I'm sure Kev gets a lot more videos now sent to him. They shut the line down.
Oh, just you stole a lot from me. I'm watching it going, why are you shutting the line down?
Keep the, like you said, keep the line open. Just open it.
You're moving it. You don't got to shut it to move it.
It's just this
is what you get paid
constant
to
thing
do. Let's go. Yeah, like just whip it around. I mean, you know, it takes. It can be done. You just got to be more aggressive and keep that line whipping. You know, put out fire. Don't ask. I've heard guys. You want me to hit that? Yeah, that's fire. That's water. Let's put that on.
That's fire. That's water.
Put it on.
You know.
Yeah, the shutting down the line thing is a pet peeve of mine. Not taking glass is a pet peeve of mine.
Yeah.
cutting
Pete
6
Rose
holes
is
in
a
a shed.
No. What about cutting projects? I've seen guys bring. Listen, I don't blame the guys for that. It's like you're not drilling enough if you think you should be taking a saw to a 6-story project roof. You know, you're not trained.
Yeah, you're misinformed, Gonzo.
You're missing the
Chief,
boat, Gonzo.
Great story. I'm glad I ran into you in the deli again.
Oh yeah, I had a good egg sandwich, and
Yeah.
but
Gotta get you over to our gym now so you can see me carry around the dead bodies in the bed.
no, my son's giving me play-by-play.
Is he?
You ever see my son? My son's friggin' like 6'6". He's going on the MTA police. I'm hoping next.
6'6".
He's a big kid. You would know him. He's a good kid. So
tell him to come up to me next time. Say little man.
So touche. Joel Kanaski said, sometimes you have to save water if you're not a hydrant, right? So you might have to shut down the line occasionally, quick. But when you're on hydrant water,
All right.
keep the nozzle open.
There you
All right.
go.
Touche.
One quick Joel Kanansky story. We
Never
called
heard
him
of
the
him.
wizard. We called him the wizard. Someone else called him the brain, but he was unbelievable. One thing about Joel, I saw his thing. He didn't tell everybody. You know, he was I know he was on the job for 9 years, but I guess we're having what's the annual inspection when the chief comes, and he always picks out the junior guy. So Joel happens to be the junior guy, and he asked him a question on the rabbit tool. How many? I think he wanted to ask him like how many pumps does it take to get the thing fully extended. Joel broke down the PSI, if it's vertical, if it's horizontal. The chief was like, "Who is this guy?" I said, "He's the wizard."
He's the wizard.
The chief just packed up and left. He says, "Okay, enough." Joel was unbelievable. He really was.
We like him. We'll keep him around.
Yeah, no, good egg. But
all right, guys, we got to do the. Unfortunately, we had another line of duty in I believe Wisconsin. You're muted again, Gons.
Oh shit. Anyway, do you want to do the FRC or you do line of duty that stuff first?
Let's do the line of duty, and then we'll do the thing that Ruffy does, and then we'll do the FRC.
Okay, let me do this. Let me do this for you. I'll read this for everybody. We're sharing this. Okay, good. All right, so Green Bay Metro. Excuse me. Firefighter, I can't pronounce his last name. Tyler Creeder, is that how it is? Age 43, Fire Station 6. Green Metro actually lost his battle with cancer, it looks like.
Ah, shit.
So they labeled it as a line of duty death. So I believe Coobs, whenever you're ready.
Yes, sir.
Let me bring his picture back up here. There you go. All right.
Rest in peace, brother.
Rest in peace, brother.
Ruffy has a thing, right? I believe
he has one as well. When you're ready, Lou.
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. Let me bring this one up.
I got a little something to read here. So this is, brothers and sisters, we are reaching out to friends, family, and the community to support William Billy Carlson and his 14-year-old daughter, Mila, during an incredibly challenging time. Mila has recently been diagnosed with spindle cell, I don't even want to pronounce what that thing is, a rare and aggressive form of cancer. She will soon begin chemotherapy following surgery. Billy has been a dedicated member of the Prince George's County Fire and EMS Department for 11 years. Now as a father, he faces the toughest battle yet as she fights this disease. So this is the GoFundMe page. Again, I know these things come a lot, but if you have a few extra shekels, it would help these guys out tremendously. Obviously, I can't imagine going through this for my daughter. So
you're gonna put it in the description, right, Gons?
It's already in the website's already in there. It's rhabdomyosarcoma.
There you
if
go.
I pronounced that
We
correctly.
need a chief to say that. Thank you, Gons.
Well, there's a couple of us here.
Yeah. All right, now we can
pray
pray
for this kid.
Yes.
And pray. Correct.
All right. Let me get to that, and here we go.
The First Responders Center for Excellence is a not-for-profit organization dedicated to protecting the lives and livelihoods of first responders. Their education and research initiatives aim to bring greater awareness and understanding to the challenges to the health, safety, and well-being of firefighters, EMS personnel, and other first responders, too. They are an affiliate of the National Fallen Firefighter Foundation.
All right, tonight's old school health and safety tip is, this one's just for guns. Wash your hands after you return from fire or EMS alarm before using the bathroom. Firefighters have a much higher risk of testicular cancer than non-firefighters. Preventing direct contact with dirty hands is one way to minimize this risk.
Don't
Wash
touch your
your
junk.
hands before you touch your junk. All right? That's what I want to say.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Yes.
We won't be back for what, a week, Ruff, or more, maybe? And yeah, one more time. Here's the new siren. Thank you, Gons.
Well, I have to say, I feel a little bit better about my 5-head.
There you go.
Do a tornado siren, a super tornado siren.
Nice little shout out to Frankie there. Very cool.
Yeah, Frankie, we're gonna get him from some weather reports too. Super tornado sirens.
I'm the guy.
Yeah, hold up, guys.
I think that guy was he was one of my aides.
Oh, Frankie, we're gonna make him a movie star.
All right, guys. So I don't know when we're back. On Monday, right, Ruff? I think. Who knows?
It's going to probably be. It's going to be the 9th, probably. We're not going to do one after.
I'm away.
As of right now, you have the 16th with Chief. Was it Garrity? I can't pronounce that last name.
9th?
Yeah, I got Ed Garrity. No, we don't have anything. I'm working on the 9th.
All right, probably the 9th. Everybody have a great New Year. Have a great Christmas, Hanukkah. If you're a double dipper like Gonzo, enjoy both. Chief, thanks for coming on. I'll see you around the neighborhood.
It was Joe Marchbanks. I just couldn't remember his name.
Nice. He remembered. Beautiful.
Yeah. And he was a great guy. And
You remembered that, or you pulled that out of something?
No, I remembered it.
The text message, I heard it go off. So somebody said, "That's who the guy is."
No, I remembered it. I would just remember I talked to him like a week before 9/11, and it was.
All righty.
Yeah. Sorry.
Make good
guys.
decisions.
Make good decisions, and remember, it only takes 3 seconds to change your life.
I know.
All right, guys.
Public service announcement.
There you go. Until next time, stay low and go.
All right, Chief. Thanks again. We'll see you at the big one, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
All right, guys. Have a good night. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. All that good stuff. Hook up and look up, baby. Have a good night.